two got minimized again. How the heck did that happen? I heard you that time, Harold. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know how many people are in right now, but I'm pretty sure more people will find their way in. Welcome to the Council of the Blerds. a Geekcast where we cover all things geek and nerd-related news and announcements, and plus we delve in deeper to the subjects that affect the Blerd community. I'm, of course, Kendra Gray, the Dreadlock Blerd, and joining me today is Harold Gibson, a.k.a. HB Gibson, a.k.a. leader of the X Zone. Say what's up to everybody.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be up at 10 a.m. I'm feeling like old school cartoon. There we go. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. That's
Saturday
a good
morning, baby. Yeah.
That's right. Also joining us is Matthew V. Haynes, a.k.a. the Clockmaster.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back. Episode number 2, baby. Let's go.
Episode number 2.
Yes.
And also joining us today is Kim McCoy, a.k.a. Enigma's Girl.
Good morning, full of coffee, ready to go. Let's do this.
Let's get it.
If you guys joined us for the first Geekcast, you know there was 5 of us, but we are down 1 today. The other member, Katani Brahman, she has to work this morning, so she won't be joining us live. But she said she will be trying to chime in whenever she can, while she's at work. So. Today's episode of the Geekcast is going to be an interesting one, and I think is one that we all would really like to discuss.
Yeah.
The main topic of discussion will be toxic fan syndrome or toxic fandom. But before we get into that, I just want to say make sure you guys are subscribed to each and every one of our channels. Subscribe to Kenimation Studios, subscribe to Harold Gibson, subscribe to Matthew V. Haynes, and when Kim eventually gets her YouTube channel, you're going to subscribe to her too. All of us can be found on YouTube, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. Am I forgetting any other social media outlets?
Patreon.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, Patreon's a good
Snapchat.
Patreon, Snapchat, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, still no sponsorships yet. No sponsorships yet, but hopefully we'll get there. We'll get there.
Eventually we're getting there.
Yeah.
But you guys have to tell me something because I am so upset right now. How was Comic-Con?
Ooh.
Okay.
Howard, you can go first. You go first.
Well, actually, for me, it was more of I brought my Lady Rose to the con, and I wasn't really looking for anything. I was just trying to get her feet wet, so she could check it out. We took our time. We just walked around. Nothing really jumped out at me in particular. I knew that a lot of the panels were, they were all downstairs and weren't really panels. And I was also kind of doing some promotional things for my channel. So I was around. I ran into Demetrius Angelo, of course, from Urban Action Showcase.
Right.
I saw Time Act over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much those guys are like they're like
yeah, they really kind of are. They really are.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that jumped out at me and everything, and this is just some people might consider it to be a small thing. I consider it to be a big thing. Why don't they just make a Black Phantom? Because I walked in front of that costume and I was like, holy that
costume was beautiful. Beautiful in person.
Otherwise, I had a great time.
Oh man.
I went there on a Saturday. Me and Katani went on Saturday. It was actually a lot of fun. This is our second year in a row going. But the one thing I will say though, this is the one place. I know most Comic-Cons are like this, but there's definitely no toxicity there at all. At least from what I saw.
Right.
One thing, and I've been telling Katani this all week. The people I gotta give props to the most are DC cosplayers East. Those guys are so freaking organized, and they roll hella deep. I got pictures on my Instagram of some of the group shots that they took, and I'm just like, wow, like the time they took to put their cosplays together, especially all the dudes who dressed up as Superman, like the movie version of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was like really intense. I was hoping that there
you saw that one guy, right?
Yes.
With Wonder Woman, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
There was a guy dressed up there was a guy dressed up as Wonder Woman, and I want to say that his top was painted on. I could be wrong. I didn't really get to see up close, but I think his top was painted on.
Hey, the cosplayers get creative, and I tell you.
Yeah.
Interesting. And there's, there's no pictures of this anywhere on the intro.
I didn't snatch. Yes, there should be.
There should be.
Yeah, if you check out like Comic-Con, 2018 cosplay pictures, I'm pretty sure you'll find some up there. It's funny because as I was looking through them a couple days ago, I happened to stumble on pictures from last year, and me and Katani made it up there on Collider, and I was like, so nobody was gonna tell me that we made up on Collider last year for New York Comic Con, really? y'all wasn't gonna say nothing, right? Like, I see how y'all do.
That's called silent hate.
Yeah. We unfortunately didn't get to a lot of the panels this year. We caught the Marvel The Next Big Thing, which is mainly dealing with the comic books. I'm not a big Marvel comic reader, but I figured we'd won it through the New York Comic Con.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah. Did you guys have to do the lotteries for that this year?
Yeah, we were hoping to get into the Reign of the Superman panel. I really wanted to do that, but we didn't win that one. So we didn't stay on for the Marvel Comics panel. It was, some of the titles that they get getting ready to come out seem cool, but again, I'm not a big Marvel Comics reader. I'm more of a DC Comics reader.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
DC has better comics, Marvel has better movies. That's pretty much how it works out.
I think that's pretty much the understanding now. Like, their comics are good, but Marvel's movies are just way, way better. Way, way better.
For me, my experience in short, this is a summarized version because I went both on Friday and Saturday, and for the most part on Friday I was chilling with a cosplay group which I am proud to say I'm now a part of officially now. Paladins of Cosplay, shout out to them. Yes. Man, became a member a few days ago, so it's gonna be cool. But they all dressed up as Venom symbiotes. There was like just different symbiotes, like the
I saw that picture.
You saw them, right? Yeah, yes. They had a Deadpool symbiote, a Wolverine symbiote. They had symbiotes for everything, and it was kind of cool just hanging out with them and doing that. And I didn't really have too much of a plan for that weekend because normally all the other conventions I went to previously, I was either vlogging or doing press stuff. And so I had my cameras and I had schedules of things I wanted to film, people I wanted to interview, blah, 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 blah. But this time I had my headphones. I was by myself, especially on Saturday. Well, I met up with quite a few people, including Ken. I didn't see Harold. I was actually looking around to see if I ran into Harold.
It was Sunday.
You were on Sunday, right? It's probably like I'm pretty sure I would have ran into you. But
Sunday was very busy. It was Sunday was usually the most calm and chill day out of the entire con. But Sunday was shoulder to shoulder, y'all.
Wow.
Especially for like merch and stuff.
I think it has a lot to do with the way that they changed the system now as far as the ticketing is concerned. People are now having to buy individual days versus a 4-day pass. So before you get a 4-day pass, people didn't show up on Sunday because they knew it was Kids Day. So now it's like you have to get a day, so they're going to pick Sunday over Thursday.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that has to do that. But how was the lottery process for a lot of you guys? Because I know a friend of mine actually went and actually got a pop for me there, and they had to do the lottery to get it.
I had no idea that it even existed until one of my friends added me to a group on Facebook about New York Comic Con passes and stuff, and people were talking about it, and I'm like, what the hell are people talking about, this lottery thing? And then Katani actually told me about it and said that she had won a lottery for the Marvel thing. And I bought both of our passes and stuff, so I was like, so this must be a new thing. I think the concept is actually pretty cool. Yeah. Because there's a lot going on at New York Comic Con. Like I said, we didn't make it to a lot of the panels. So if it's the case where it's like you're trying to make a panel, but it's like first of all, it's way too crowded. It's hard to get from one place to the other. The bathroom lines are just like out of
control, always.
Out of control. And they actually changed the layout because last year the area where Artist Alley was, that's where the celebrities were this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They changed that up a bit.
Did they put the artist in the basement this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But weren't they in the basement last year though? I remember they were a floor down last year.
They were, but I think they gave the whole floor to them.
Yeah.
I think that's what they did this year. They gave the whole floor to them.
It was a lot bigger.
It makes more sense.
Yes.
It makes more sense because they need the room. A lot of the, you know, they need the space, and that space where they had all that stuff over there, it's a little bit more exclusive to, because it's in that little, when they had the artist before, was in that corner area of Jacob Travis.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit more exclusive, so they don't have a lot of traffic flowing through there for no reason.
As a matter of fact, I think they might have given the celebrities 2 spots.
Really?
Because there's a spot where Artist Alley was, they gave them that, and there was another spot on the other side of that too. So I think they gave them that. So I think they just combined them. When I went to go try to get a picture with Jason David Frank, but unfortunately he was done for the day. What the hell? So I settled. No, I didn't settle. I was gonna get my picture with Phil Lamar, so I got my picture with Phil Lamar.
Right.
The line for Michelle Rodriguez was
probably out
super long. It was super long. I was like,
oh my,
what? People really be feeling Michelle Rodriguez like that. I was like, okay.
Real quick, like speaking of celebrity, I gotta share real quick my experience with Jason Momoa. Okay.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
On Saturday, my friends and I, we were waiting in a line for Matthew Mercer from Critical Role, and they were waiting to get some autographs from him and whatever. So we're standing about maybe like 6 to 8 feet away from me is the back of curtain, and then next thing you know, you see Jason Momoa just come through that curtain, just opens it like super majestically, and then he was playing some type of rock music. I couldn't pinpoint the band, but it was really loud. He was making his presence known. So I looked over at him. It was like a good split second. I looked over at him and I nodded my head, and all this dude just did, he just looked back at me, put his fingers up, was like, winked his finger, started screaming, and it was like, I was like
a little girl, 15-year-old girl at that moment.
Honestly, I was like, I'm like, did Jason Momoa just wink at me?
Jason Momoa is officially the DC rock star.
Honestly,
he really is. He's the DC rock star now. Like, if nothing else, you know, he's the one you could count on for a good time. Even though I think Shazam is going to be great, and which reminds me, I saw Zachary Levi walking through the DC Cosplayers East photo shoot. I was like, everyone stopped, and I was like, who's coming through? And it was Zachary Levi. I was like, oh, there's
he just passed my friend's dad, casually just walking by. I was like, hi, and then he was like, like he just casually just walking through. I was like, okay,
right.
It was definitely fun. The one, aside from wanted to catch some of the panels, there's a couple things I wanted to catch. They had Soul Calibur 6 there. Really? I wanted to get some gameplay of that because I know that comes out next week.
I heard Kingdom Hearts was there as well. I heard
Kingdom Hearts
was there. Yeah. My friend played that, said it was crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I regret not coming because I hear it was like Dragon Ball Z Heaven and
Dragon Ball Z.
I regret not coming to that.
I think that's the one thing I'm most upset about, that I didn't get to go to the Dragon Ball area. I wanted to go there so bad.
You didn't see anything?
The only thing I saw, and I snapped a picture of the big poster for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and then I saw the big Shenron that they had hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
I for some reason, I didn't make my way over there, and I was so mad about that, because that was the one thing I definitely wanted to go by.
On Friday, that was the first place I walked through.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first place I walked through.
Because I'm super ready for this Broly movie. I really am. Like, and I'm glad what they're doing with him is going to be interesting, especially since the second trailer dropped, like around Comic-Con time. Actually, the second trailer dropped. I think a good amount of trailers dropped. I didn't catch a lot of them, but I know a good amount of trailers dropped at New York Comic-Con. Can't really think of them off the top of my head. I know the Reign for the Superman trailer dropped. Dragon Ball Super Broly movie.
I think they did a Voltron first look and a She-Ra first look as well, which I'm excited for. She-Ra.
I wasn't gonna give She-Ra a chance because I never really watched it as a kid, but the way it's going right now, I think I might be able to get into it. Like, I started with Voltron for Netflix, but I never I didn't realize they were up to like season 8.
It's season 7 now. You got to finish it. It's actually worth it. Trust me.
So like, I'm probably gonna start over from the beginning and just binge the whole thing all the way through, because I think they're getting ready to come up on their last season, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if it's their last season. They haven't made any announcements. Cancel. I know they have a season 8 on the way.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot more of the story to tell. There's no way they can end it so quickly, especially the way as season 7 ended. And She-Ra is being created by the same people who did Voltron, so I have nothing but trust for the series.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Other than that, I thought.
I heard it, like the other thing I heard is like it was like the Doctor Who Haven on like the other end of the spectrum, and it was like it was like two worlds colliding in the same like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I was so upset because I would have lost my boyfriend in one half, and I would have been in the Doctor.
No, it was a good amount of fandom there. Like Outlander was there, that was huge. There was a lot. Like Doctor
I don't
Who.
know if do you guys still have this?
Yep.
Because I managed to snatch one.
Yep, I have it.
Keep it. I try to snatch these things. I didn't know Manifest was going to be there for a panel, and that's like one of my new favorite shows now. I don't know if you guys have been catching Manifest, but it's kind of like a cross between Lost and that show Resurrection that used to come on ABC.
I thought Manifest was a movie.
No, it's a show, and basically the premise of the show is people on a flight.
Oh, Manifest. Sorry, I thought it was Mortal Engines. I got confused with Mortal Engines. My bad. I know a Manifest. Yeah. Yeah.
People on a flight end up coming back, but when they come back, it ends up being 5 years later. It's like 5 years into the future. So,
and they never aged or anything, right?
They never aged, and they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So I think it's a pretty interesting show.
That's something.
Speaking of which. And speaking of which, a lot of shows came back this week. The Flash and Black Lightning both came back this week.
Woo. Yes. Yes.
Wow. I think I'm gonna like where the Flash is going this season. Especially what they're doing with Nora. I just gotta wait and see. In Black Lightning, I think I'm really highly interested in what's going on with Black Lightning.
Black Lightning got off to a crazy banger. The first episode.
It sure did. It started off with a huge. It was explosive. I mean, the way they're able to blend in, like it's not. I don't understand why people would call it preachy, but what they did was like they nicely blended in today's issues with the community in a superhero situation, but they didn't beat you over the head with it, and it made it more natural.
Which is why the last podcast we said that's why I said I don't think Black Lightning deserves to be in the Arrowverse. Or
I can understand why you say that now. I can understand why you say that. Look
at like Harold just said, like the way they're able to like introduce real social problems into a superhero setting, to, like for instance, like using green light to show police brutality, to kind of like join the two of them together.
Yes.
Arrow, they would have went over the head with that.
Yeah, they really kind of would.
You know,
they really kind of would. Yeah.
Arrow really as well, but just back off.
I know Supergirl, and I know Supergirl's supposed to be coming back in fact, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Supergirl's supposed
Sunday,
to be
right?
Back. It's Sunday. So I'll see what that's about. Arrow comes back when?
Thursday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember which day.
No, because Arrow's supposed to be on Monday now. Wait. Yeah, Arrow's supposed to be on Monday now because it's supposed to be Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow for Monday. That's the new schedule. So I think Arrow's supposed to be coming back on Monday. I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's like they're returning back to form. Oh, I almost forgot. We met Manu Bennett at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, that's right. We met Manu Bennett. Yeah, that's right.
He was just chilling in the cut.
And
he was like, why are you not on like the main stage or something?
Yeah.
But like, you know what? He's a really cool dude too. And I told him if it wasn't for him as Deathstroke, I would have gave up on Arrow a while ago.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Because the first season didn't really hold me, but when Deathstroke came in, I was like, yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
I remember it's like I remember we left the urban action area and we're just walking. We were on a mission looking for popcorn, right? We looking for popcorn.
For popcorn.
For popcorn, that's what we were looking for because it was smelling too good. You looking for popcorn?
Popcorn was popping that day. It was
and then we turned around. I'm like, wait, Ken, is that Manu? Is that Manu Bennett? And they were like, oh shoot, where that's Manu Bennett? Why is he all the way in the back of the whole hall? He's all the way in the back by the end of the wall. I'm like, why is this man in the shadows? Why is he not in the front? It's crazy.
It happens like that. It's like even then, like sometimes you won't even notice a celebrity is actually just walking around in cosplay.
That's true. And you know,
Mark Ruffalo was there in cosplay.
Yes.
Mark Hamill's been known to do that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because last year it kind of happened the same with me last year because last year that's how I met John Schnepp. I met him at New York Comic Con last year, and he was chilling in the cut. And I was like, oh, snap, John Schnepp is here. And I walked up and shook his hand, told him I was a big fan of his. And I was like, I totally forgot that's how it happened to me last year.
Wow.
You know,
but that's the best way, though, because at that point, like 95% of the time, they're more willing to talk to you because they're in the cut. And they're like kind of just like, yeah, you know, nobody knows I'm here. So let's just talk. Like
exactly,
That's how it was for Manu, man. Like, I just went up there and I was like, look, man, I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done on Arrow and giving us a really good Deathstroke. And I just, you know, I spoke to him. He was very humble and just, you know, very appreciative and very chill. Like, he was just literally just talking to this one guy in front of us for like a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, wow.
Because, you know, it's a lot of that, especially even like for when I remember when I used to go, a lot of the artists, you know, they would sit down and talk to you for literally 20, 30 minutes because they had nothing better to do. You know?
Yeah.
Me and Matthew were trying to get a big YouTubers group shot because we ran into Akasan who was there. I don't know if you guys know who Akasan is, but those who are watching know who Akasan is.
Yeah, they should know.
I was actually surprised that he was actually there because he lives, as far as I know, Matthew, you can correct me if I'm wrong, he still lives in Japan.
Yeah, he's still in Japan.
Yeah, but I think he made the trip over here to just come to New York Comic Con. So it was cool running into him. Tyrone Magnus was there, but he cut out early. I think he left.
I think he left like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I think.
Because I saw a couple of his videos and he was saying he was only going to be there for like a couple of hours. Normally he's posted up by the Urban Action Showcase as well. We were telling one of our friends, Livy Doll, that originally we were going to go to the Urban Action Showcase, but we thought about it, and I think we're going to make the trip. We're gonna go to Urban Action Showcase this year again. I'm not submitting anything, but I'm just going there just as a fan, just to chill out. Yeah, just support. And the thing is that because we know a couple of people that have things submitted there anyway, so you know we figured we might as well just go there. Because even you, Harold, you have Body Jumpers is going to be there, right?
Body Jumpers will be there, but I don't think that the episode, I think the recent episode that he did, episode 6, I wasn't, so they'll be showing that one, and plus, with job responsibilities, I don't want asking for days off. I work weekends. That's the sucky part.
Okay.
So like I have to choose where I go. Like, okay, if Body Jumpers was actually going to be there and I was actually in something.
Okay.
Oh, so that's like I prioritize and stuff. But Urban Action is such a wonderful organization showcasing action heroes of color. And Demetrius has really been carrying the flag for that for a long time.
Yeah.
He always does a good job.
I definitely got to give him props for like putting on a festival like that highlights not only people of color, but like a genre that doesn't always get overlooked, which is the martial arts action genre. I mean, sure, different cons cover that stuff, but to mainly focus specifically on like martial arts, is something that's been needed for a while now.
Right.
And this year's going to be pretty good because they're doing the 20th, I think, the 20th anniversary of Blade.
I believe so. Yes.
20th anniversary of Blade. I think Enter the Dragon is celebrating that also. Maybe I think Bloodsport too. They're celebrating the couples also. So, like I said, originally I wasn't going to go, but I said, you know what? I should go. I should definitely go because it's an element that I really should be surrounding myself around anyway. So we're going to be going there just to chill, hang out, maybe network a little bit, and things like that. Right. Speaking of which, two other things came about, and I know Matthew, you already watched this.
Yes.
The first episode of Titans
Yep.
premiered on Friday.
Oh Lord.
Lord have mercy.
I haven't watched it yet because I am not going to pay. I'm not going to pay for the DC service yet. I'll probably wait until either Young Justice season 3 comes out or the full season of Titans is out.
Can I tell you this though?
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it for you because out of you didn't see it. I'm not gonna spoil the plot.
Right.
Let me tell you this about the DC universe app itself. You still should get it, and I'll tell you why. Because matter of fact, one of my subscribers DM'd me on Instagram and told me, he was like, "Yo, man, like you put me on this. I didn't even know it was this good." You have, especially if you appreciate old DC shows and movies, you have everything. I was watching Static Shock forever on there. Static Shock, all the old DC comics, all the movies, every single movie that came out is on there, and it has an encyclopedia too.
You know what?
So it's worth it for $7 something a month. It's worth it.
You know, I just might.
I think it's like $7.99 a month, so like roughly $8 a month. It's not bad. You're getting a lot. You're getting a lot.
And you know what? You're absolutely right because if you go to like Amazon, I think you have to pay for like the entire series of the Superman the animated series. I think the same for Batman the animated series. And I know they just came out with like the complete edition. Young Justice, of course, is on there.
You have all of it. You have all of it on there. It's worth it. Trust me.
And you know what? It actually might help with my comic book collecting because I collect a lot of comic books and I don't always have time to read them. I got a stack sitting in my bag right now that I haven't even touched. I got 2 stacks behind me right now that I haven't even read yet. So
There's also a link to free comics that I have to find where you can actually read a lot of the comics. Somebody actually pretty much transposed a lot of it. I don't have it on me right now, but once I get it, I'll definitely give it to you guys.
Cool.
Real quick, Ken, to add, I think Katani just commented saying she has have to work Urban Action Showcase or something like work weekend or Urban Action Showcase.
Yeah, she does.
For you.
Yeah,
she did say that.
Just to add real quick, sorry, to the Titans thing. I need to make this clear. Because I've made this clear in multiple videos. I do not hate Anna Diop. I do not dislike her as an actress, as a person. I think she is beautiful. I think she's a great actress, right?
Okay.
My only complaint about Starfire is the fact that she's not orange yet.
Right.
Yet. Okay, that's the only issue I have with what they're doing with her. People say she gets to that point. We will see, but I'm just prefacing this now. It's only because of the fact that if it was a white girl or a Latino girl playing her and she wasn't orange, I would be just as upset about that.
Right.
So because a lot of people have been misunderstanding me and a lot of other people who've been complaining about the Starfire thing.
Yeah.
My personal complaint is literally just the fact that she's not orange. That and a lot of her characteristics. Well, all right. Well, let me not get into that. You'll have to watch it. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was actually watching her with my mouth like wide open because I was like, please don't let there not be flaws because there was so many people that were complaining about it, and I'm sitting there going, I literally have nothing to complain about except for the fact that that she's not orange.
Orange, exactly.
I saw. I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
So even though the pilot is only the pilot episode, do you think? I don't know how many episodes the season's going to be. Where do you think it'll go? Do you think people will gravitate to it? Do you think it will get a little bit more attention, or are people just going to be set in their ways as it is right now? Because I'm the type of person I'll give anything a shot. I will give anything a shot and make my own determinations from there.
This is probably one of those things where, people will probably just initially get DC Universe online streaming service just to watch it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you do get it, if you do watch it, you're going to enjoy it. Because I'm going to tell you, the best way to describe Titans is like, let's just say if Arrow was rated R.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense then. That makes sense.
Cause that Robin fight scene.
Hey, listen. Remember back in the day in 1989 when the original Batman came out. Probably one of the biggest complaints that a lot of fans had was like, oh, Robin wouldn't look right on film. You know, he's a weak character. Weak. Batman should just be by himself and everything. Huh?
Yeah.
This Robin, I am literally scared of this Robin. Okay?
Me too, man.
Okay.
Ken, whenever you get on that, definitely check my reaction out to the episode, because when I saw the Robin fight scene, I was just left like this. Literally, like, I was not expecting that from Dick Grayson at all. But to like answer your question, if people should think, like Harold said, the first episode is good. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I have little nitpick complaints, even though it's only the first episode. So I'm still open-minded, because I just checked, there's 11 episodes. I'm still open-minded for the future of where this can go. I'm just waiting to see where it's going. Right. But the first episode was definitely enjoyable. It definitely was not a horrible episode at all by any means. And all the Robin stuff was really cool.
There was one particular scene with Raven, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but let's just say I'll just say Allie.
Yes.
Okay.
Just Allie scene, and that's what got me. And I was like, yo, I like Raven.
Okay. I'll definitely give it a shot. I'll probably sometime this week or probably next week, and I'll probably subscribe fully and start checking out Titans and everything else that Service has to offer. Now let's move into a bit of sad news. Well, depending on how you look at it. It dropped last night, so this is still technically breaking news that Iron Fist has been canceled. After 2 seasons, Iron Fist has been canceled. One of the 4 shows from the Marvel Netflix universe is not coming back for a season 3, despite how season 2 ended. Now, I'll admit I'm one of those guys that I wasn't like super critical of the first season, but there was things about the first season that were just not really fitting well with me. I think they tried to make up for it a little bit in Defenders, but they didn't do so well.
Right.
Danny Rand showing up on Luke Cage season 2, I think kind of helped him a little bit.
Yep.
I thought overall season 2 was better. Leaps and bounds better than season 1. And I didn't watch too many reviews of season 2. I was watching one the other day. I forgot the young lady's name, but she kind of ripped it apart. I personally think it wasn't that bad. And again, especially with the way the season ended.
Was her name Alicia?
Yes.
Yes, I watched her videos. Yeah, she kind of went in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it was. I mean, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course, but I think the course correction with season 2, I think it's a pretty good job. I mean, it kind of showed Danny kind of like growing up.
Yeah.
Really understanding things, like spoiler alert if you haven't seen the season, but if you haven't seen the season, you're probably not going to watch it anyway. The fact that he suggested that Colleen take the Iron Fist, I was like, oh damn, this is like for the whole of season 1 and even Defenders, that's all he talked about. I'm the immortal Iron Fist, sworn enemy of the hand, and all the other good stuff. And now he's like, nope, I can't have this thing anymore. You should take it. And then they, the whole thing where it's like he really should belong to her and all this other stuff. But I mean, that aside, with the action getting cleaned up a lot better, because the action in the first season was just trash boat. I didn't like it. But the fighting,
that lobby scene though in the first episode.
That's true though. Yeah, that's true. But the fighting in this season I thought was leaps and bounds better. I loved, and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Davos. I really enjoyed Davos as a villain this season.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good. And it's like, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you can kind of be afraid of this guy because not only does he have 2 iron fists, but like he's like legit crazy.
Right.
And like, and Danny ain't got nothing. He's trying to learn how to fight again, which was kind of weird. But I don't know. I just like the way the season ended, you know, with Colleen with the Iron Fist and then the Iron Sword. And then Danny with his 2 Iron Fists, and now he got 2 superpowered guns. I'm like, and we're not going to continue this?
Let me ask you this question, though, Ken. Let me ask you this. Do you think, where do you think it actually failed? Where Netflix said, you know what, I think we need to cancel this. Do you think it has anything to do with the actor, more or less the writing, or more or less, you know, audience retention? What do you think? What do you think it is? Anyone answer.
I think it's further than that. I think a lot of it has to come from Disney itself. Because remember, Disney is going to be launching their own stuff soon, so Disney's going to try to, you know, compact a lot of their content together.
That's
so
true.
I think a lot of it has to come from Disney, and at this point, they're going to try to split from Netflix altogether.
So, do you think they're going to try to continue his story over on their streaming service?
I don't know if they'll continue
because there's Daredevil.
I think they'll just. I don't think they're going to continue it, but I think they might try to incorporate it some other way, knowing them. Because at this point, you can't kind of continue something that's dead on another streaming service, you know?
Yeah.
So they may just try to reboot it, knowing them too. They may just reboot the whole process altogether, and you might just get a whole totally different setup for it.
As we discussed before, we.
So go ahead.
I agree with Kim in that regard, but I also kind of agree with you what you're saying, Matthew, as far as audience retention. I think people were just so turned off by the first season that they like with a lot of other things which we'll be discussing later.
Right.
They just went into this thing with a bias. They already went into season 2 with a bias, and no matter what they did to course correct, it was just not going to be good enough for them.
As we discussed before we even came on the air, I said that Iron Fist season 2, literally before my eyes, I saw something that we rarely see, and that is like when the first one didn't do very well, that they, I guess, listened to the audience, listened to the complaining and everything, and just really amped up and was literally better than. See, I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, he took some fighting lessons. Either that or the first, my biggest complaint was like, okay, look, you taught Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, Carrie-Anne Moss. You taught all those guys martial arts in like 6 months, and they look like they've been doing it forever. All right.
Yep.
What happened to this guy?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And you would think that he would have a good fighting background, you know, being on Thrones as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would think so.
I mean, it does beg the question, though. I mean, because as far as we know, Luke Cage season 3 has been greenlit.
Yeah, it's been renewed right now.
It's been renewed. Daredevil season 3 is going to premiere next Friday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to happen with Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones has been greenlit as well.
It's been greenlit. So
yeah.
I think the only other option for them to do is if they incorporate Danny Rand into all 3 of their shows.
Somehow. Yeah. That's what I think they're gonna do.
Or Defender season 2 maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's their only option at this point. Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Claire is not coming back.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, Claire's not coming back. So we kind of need someone to fill in that role. Maybe not her character, so to speak, but fill in that role as someone who kind of bridges all 3 series together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they really want to do it, Danny could be that character. Danny, Ward, and Colleen. They can be those characters because.
But tell me why I enjoyed because season 1 of Iron Fist, I never finished it. I didn't even bother to finish it. I read a synopsis about how it ended, and my friend Captain Phil told me about everything. And of course, Defenders, I got more of the story. But I'm like, tell me why I enjoyed Colleen more. I wanted to see if they make a Colleen series, I would watch that. You know what I mean?
Colleen.
For some reason, I just didn't like his portrayal of Danny Rand. For some reason, I just don't know what it is. But I don't know.
Are we talking season 1?
Well, I haven't seen season 2, so I can't really speak on that. I'm only speaking from my Defenders in season 1, like, you know, experience.
Because if you're talking season 1, then I wholly agree with you.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I made the joke that, like, Colleen Wing is a better Iron Fist. No, she's better at Danny Randing than Danny Rand is.
He's better at Danny Randing.
And it's like,
I like that.
And it's like how is she better than Danny Rand in this show? And the show's supposed to be about him.
Yeah.
Like this season 2, I wasn't really feeling Colleen that much. I mean, not until towards the end, but definitely in season 1, Colleen Wing was like, just give her the Iron Fist. She'll do more with it. And I guess that's why they did it in season 2. They gave it to her because it just made it more sense for her to have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, brand new word today. So what are you going to be doing for the rest of the day? I'm going to be Danny Randing.
Danny Randing.
I like it.
That's a good one.
What's going on? Danny Randing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just going to Danny Rand this, yo.
Do you think, kind of segueing into our main topic, do you think a lot of, you know, these fans and everything else, do you think that they probably had a lot of problems with the actual portrayal of
125,000%?
Yes. Yes.
In fact, that was the complaint even before the first season premiered. The fact that Danny Rand wasn't Asian, or that they didn't get an Asian person to portray the Iron Fist. I know that was the biggest complaint.
Right.
I know certain things have to be made to translate better in a live action setting. Now, I'm not one of those people that feels like you have to race bend all the time. If it fits narratively in the story, then that's a different story. Like it's the thing with the like the Henry Cavill situation for Superman. And people were saying that, you know, Michael B. Jordan would make a good Superman. The first thing I said was I would only allow this if he's playing Val Zod.
Val Zod. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because we have had a number of African American Supermen in the comic books.
Yeah.
Val Zod is one of them.
We got 2.
Calvin Ellis is another one.
Yes.
John Henry Iron Steel is another one.
Yes.
So there's been a number of black super.
And there's another Earth Superboy as well. I forgot which Earth it was. That's also African American. So,
you know, so that's the only way I would accept that. But I just don't think it's a thing that has to be a thing all the time, which leads into our main topic of discussion.
Here we go.
This has been something I would say has been a problem for maybe the past, like, what, 10 years?
5-10 years.
Very popular thing.
Since Comic-Con became a very mainstream thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, I don't really see it dying down too much. I think it's being maybe a bit monitored a bit more. I know Comic-Cons have been doing a great deal to make sure that such behavior doesn't exist there.
Yes.
But that doesn't stop the social media outlets from voicing their venomous opinion.
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about toxic fan syndrome, also known as toxic fandom.
Yeah.
Now, most of you have
Also
probably heard
known as possessive fandom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, those of you who are watching have probably heard the term flying around all over the place, especially on the interwebs.
Yeah.
But a lot of you probably don't really know what it means. In fact, most internet articles don't really define exactly what toxic fandom is.
Yeah.
So, but now, Harold, I know you've talked about this a great deal. You've done a couple of videos on this.
Yeah.
Initially, I was going to do a video. This was going to be like a top 10 list of like toxic fandom symptoms or something like that. But since we're doing a podcast now, excuse me, the Geekcast, let me make that correct. And we would have, and you guys would get multiple voices to speak on the subject because we've all seen our fair share of toxic fandom.
Yeah.
So, Harold, if you could do us the honor and just explain what exactly is toxic fan syndrome or toxic fandom.
Toxic fandom is basically ruining another person's enjoyment because it just, sometimes even just for the sake of just disagreeing. For me, I think it started off with I think it kind of started with beef. My point of view, this is only from my end. It started with Star Wars episodes.
Yes, I was gonna say Yep. With Anakin.
Wars Episode 1, you had people who were used to this particular box: Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And, the video games maybe, and the books maybe. But basically people were stuck in this box of the original trilogy. So they go back and they say, oh, great, we get to see the Jedi when they were like really in force. It was fun. And then,
Harold, I think your mic is going in and out.
In and out, yeah.
Yeah, your mic is going in and out.
Okay, let me get closer. How about that?
Oh, there we go. Now you're good.
Okay, so then this character was introduced.
Wait, excuse me. I'm sorry, Harold. Are you sure? It's Skype is picking it up from your headset or from your laptop? Because it got louder when you got closer.
Yeah,
it got louder as I got
picking up from the laptop.
Yeah. You sure the source is correct?
Because actually, to tell you the truth, I don't hear anything. I was just relying on the microphone. I got to work on this. Somehow.
Yeah, it's probably not connected.
Okay.
All right. So it started. Okay, am I clipping? Am I coming in good?
Oh,
you're
good.
You're good.
Perfect.
You're good now.
Okay. All right. Now, with Star Wars Episode 1, and then this character was introduced, Jar Jar Binks. So, what and it goes to what George said. Like he's like, these are my movies. I make them the way I want to, and I guess here it is years later. You have people who were young with the original trilogy, and they're now grown, and they're seeing this. And George Lucas said, I made this film for 13-year-olds. So that's the reason why you'll see the younger people didn't really have an issue with Star Wars Episode 1 like older ones do. So you have generational, you have cultural toxic fandom, and then you have just different genre toxic fandom. And I never thought that I would see the day that I would see Star Wars fans at each other's throats. Because Star Wars at the beginning was a fan. We were all family. Now it's like we are heavily divided, and it's tough. And I never thought I would see the day. I haven't any toxic from the Star Trek, or am I just not hearing?
Say that last part again. You kind of went out again.
Okay. I said I haven't heard any toxic fandom from the Star Trek guys.
It happens. But
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
To add happening now. Because my friend, he covers.
So they keep it contained.
Yeah.
They keep it more contained than everybody else because their whole thing is more so you have people that are hardcore based upon the series that you were following versus Star Wars, which is the entire
universe.
From what I've heard from my friend who covers Sean Chandler talks about, he covers a lot of Star Trek on his channel when it comes to the newer series. And for what I heard from him is that the fandom within Star Trek, because I don't really follow it that much, or at all really, but they, like him, were saying, depending on the series that you were watching, it's so small, but the people are highly aggressive. So it's like, from what I heard from like a manga readers versus anime viewers, if you don't have the manga knowledge, you don't know anything, and they're really aggressive and they're very hardcore. So that's what I've heard about Star Trek in per se, like those who hold on to the Patrick Stewart era of things, or not even that, like some of the books even are super hardcore, super destructive. Yeah, and it's small, but it's there.
They take possession over something that does not belong to them. And in
their hearts, it does. That's they're holding on to that, in their hearts, they believe that belongs to them because that's their memories.
Right. It's fun, and it's funny that you bring that up because now that we've explained what toxic fandom actually is, we can actually talk about what some of the symptoms of toxic fandom really are, and you just touched on them. One of the symptoms of toxic fan syndrome is actually false ownership. when people create such a vast attachment to something that that they feel like it belongs to them. Now, we all usually tend to say something like that at some point or another in our lives, where it's like we like something so much that we feel like it belongs to us, but at the end of the day, it does not.
Right.
We didn't write it, we didn't cast it, we didn't film it, we didn't produce it, we didn't do none of that stuff. We just watch it or we just read it, and it's just crazy to think how people can become so obsessed with something that they feel that they own it, and when something about it isn't written or filmed or doesn't go their way, they lose their ever-loving mind.
And again, that goes back to like the Star Wars universe. It's like, look at what happened with the old Star Wars. Like, you have young Anakin Skywalker. Like, that guy he's in therapy right now because of all the stuff that happened to him.
That poor guy. That's really sad.
And then what's the girl's name? I can't think of her name right now. The one that was in the most recent one. Tran. Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie. Oh my God. What they did to her was so unnecessary.
That was unnecessary.
So unnecessary.
If you did not like the character, and I get what they're saying, the character was kind of forced. I get it. But come on now. Like,
I mean, you don't take it out on the
actor. Yeah.
And their job is to act.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the same thing happened. And it's always funny that it's always seemed to be happening to a lot of the actresses, because they did the same thing. They did the same thing to Ruby Rose when she got casted for the role of Batwoman for the Hourglass. They did the same thing to her.
You know who else?
Not get it.
Leslie, what's her name? Leslie Jones from Ghostbusters.
The same thing happened to her.
Right.
I remember that. I remember that.
The whole Ghostbusters series in general is like, that was like the big thing, that the women are kind of that no zone. Like, if something becomes an all woman something, it's like now the thing is with Doctor Who, like, for me, and being a Whovian, now that there's a woman cast as the Doctor, it is now, oh my God, the end of the world.
And it's so messed up because even going back to the Ghostbusters thing, because I'm a ghost head. I've been a ghost head since I was a kid. I'm a Ghostbusters fanatic.
Yeah.
Like, and when I saw the first trailer for the new Ghostbusters, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I mean, I still went to go see it because it's Ghostbusters. I have to go see it. I took my mom and I took my niece, and I enjoyed myself. I found myself laughing, and you know who I laughed at the most? Leslie Jones.
She carried the whole movie.
I laughed at her the most, and it's funny.
It's crazy because, I mean, like, for me, I really didn't like the movie that much. Don't get me wrong, because I see that they put like people in there just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But Leslie carried that whole movie on her shoulders.
Yeah, she did.
And
she did.
She got the most hate.
Yeah.
Well, talking about like the toxic fandom, I was thinking this too. I remember it started getting a lot worse with the introduction of the MCU when they first announced Iron Man was coming out.
Yeah.
And remember they showed set photos of when he was in the cave in the very first scene, and everyone was like, I remember that's when Twitter and stuff was now starting to get real popping. Yeah. And I clearly remember I was in middle school when this happened. I'm a youngin'. I was in middle school when this happened. So everybody was talking about it. Oh my God, I can't believe this is a disgrace to Iron Man. Look at the suit he has. His suit is this big bulky metal thing. Look at them now.
Like,
you know what I mean? Look at them now.
Don't know nothing about Iron Man.
That's funny. I find that so, like, and I probably, just me, I find it laughable that like people like take stuff so out of context when it comes to stuff like that.
If you look back at tweets from 2006, 2007, when Iron Man was announced and they showed the set photos, if you actually go back and look at the tweets, it's the most ridiculous thing. It's so unrealistic to a point where the people who are requesting certain stuff, it doesn't seem possible to me that someone could be this idiotic and ignorant.
When I heard that.
But that's because people become obsessed with it. Yeah.
Know anything about Iron Man?
Exactly.
It goes back. It was that Iron Man suit was a throwback.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Original suit, which I thought was genius.
Yeah,
it's funny
because people people came, like you said, people claim that ownership to stuff because they automatically assume, especially because people are new fans to stuff, especially coming into the Marvel universe. Yeah. A lot of these younger kids are not aware of, you know, the things and passages, know what they know now. Yeah. Right. So seeing it, they're like, this is not right. But because, like you said, because they have taken ownership of that thought process, they don't know anything else, and they become obsessed with that thought process.
Well, yeah, I got the fan and they got the movie fan, and understand is there are things that go on in comics that you cannot really do in films because you have storylines that go on for years.
Yes.
And it's funny that it's funny that you mentioned it, Howard, because that's something I always tell people when it comes to certain properties. It's like when Civil War was getting ready to come out. And there's a lot of people saying, like, this isn't the Civil War I ran in the comics. I'm like, of course it's not the Civil War you ran in the comics.
You can't do it.
Can't do that.
You can't do that. That's a long story.
You can't do it.
Like the whole Civil War story arc, that would have to be a whole MCU phase.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to do it justice. It'll have to be a whole phase. And they can't. There's too many stories in the comic books that have to be shortened down and reduced and modified for the movies.
And imagine how many of those are slow moving.
Exactly.
That they're going to be spending money on. They're going to lose money. So they have to kind of weigh the cost versus.
Exactly.
You know.
It's like this. It's like if you read the actual Flashpoint story.
Yes.
Or you read the actual Crisis story, which is like goes through 2-3 volumes deep. Mm-hmm. If the movies are to try to do, which I do think is it's a good investment for DC to actually try to do Crisis, because they can get a good 10 years worth of content out of that, because Crisis definitely changed. That's a whole nother subject. But anyways, but where the fandom is concerned, it's like, this is a thing where it's something I still struggle with that I've gotten a lot better with over the years. Personally, I'm not even ashamed to admit it, is I'm such a hardcore comic book fan. Not so hardcore where I'm aggressively mean to other people who don't read comics, because like I embrace anyone who shows interest in the comic book community in general. So like some people who just watch the movies and they're cool with it, like and my friend, like, she just watches the movie, she knows nothing about the comic books. That's fine, like that's okay. But what I've struggled with, and some people have it worse than me, is what you said earlier, Ken, is like realizing that translating stuff from comic books into films it's very hard. And we got to remember that a lot of these movies are always based on comic book characters, not copied verbatim or copied, you know, per you know, storyboard or anything. Like, it's not like that. And that's something that I anytime I do a reaction to something or a movie, I always have to remind myself, like, you know what, man, Matthew, you have to realize not everything is going to be here. And a lot of people didn't realize why I was freaking out with the Captain Marvel when they showed the helmet. I was so happy because as a comic book fan, reading the Captain Marvel stuff, just that little reference to her actually having the helmet from, you know, Marvel, I was like, that did a lot for me as a fan. Yeah. But some people can take that comic book accuracy to a whole nother aggressive level, like similar to what they're doing with Starfire. You know, people are doing it worse than me. On the subject, you know,
experience, like, as far as like when you see these people, because I know you got all of us has interacted with one at least, right? At this point, have you seen the ones that are like, you know, super like they have to be right about that point?
Like,
I tried not to get into it with people like that, but I remember and this was like a couple of weeks ago, and it's kind of really what really sparked me wanted to have this conversation. When the announcement came out that I think it was the Gambit announcement that was going to be made into a romantic movie. One of the people that I'm friends with, quote unquote, on Facebook, you know, he made the comment that Disney strikes again. And I'm sitting here and I'm telling him, I'm like, first of all, Disney has nothing to do with this movie. This is a purely 20th Century Fox production, because 20th Century Fox still owns the rights to the X-Men. They still own the X-Men rights.
A lot of people don't know that.
Right. And it's like,
I find so weird.
And my thing to him was like, and because he was trying to tell me that I guess he had wanted to go try out to be an extra in the movie, and they told him that Disney has something. I'm like, regardless of what that person told you, Disney has nothing to do with what's happening with the Gambit movie. That's 20th Century Fox. I told him it's the same thing with Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. The deal is still going.
Yep.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they just said that Disney will officially own 20th Century Fox by January 1st.
January, yeah.
Right.
January 1st is when they own them. And he just wanted to keep going back and forth, trying to prove that he was right. I'm like, dude, it's written in articles right here.
Yeah, there's facts for you.
Right in front of you that Marvel and Disney have nothing to do with this.
Yep.
But
you just have willfully ignorant people that are just willfully ignorant and just don't want to just calm down and have a sober mind and look at everything from a 360 view. And they just want to argue. They just want to be right. They want to sit on this high horse of, I'm a super geek. I'm an uber geek. I know it all. And you know nothing. And you don't research.
You bring up the very next point, which is one of the other symptoms of toxic fandom, moral superiority. Where you have a lot of people, like we were just talking about, they have this idea that they know so much about this one thing that anytime you try to question them about it, you're automatically going to be wrong. And like, I've been proven many times to be wrong about certain things, and I don't have a problem admitting that I was wrong. Right. Anyone who knows me knows that.
Man, I got proved wrong yesterday. When I was talking about something about Starfire, and based on my personal experience with just like Teen Titans, the show and stuff, and someone, quite a couple people corrected me on a point that I didn't even know about. And it's like, you know what? Yo, I did not know this about Coriander. That's something I didn't know, and I appreciate you for telling me, but not everybody has that approach. Right. Not everybody's open to learning and being humbled. Sometimes you got to be humbled. That's the only way you're going to learn, man. Yeah, some people don't like being humbled.
You know, and that one word before you say something that's matter of fact that you miss with a lot of people with that is that, correct me if I'm wrong. But, you know, they will never say that.
Yep.
They will never, because everything they say is matter of fact. Yeah. And it's kind of, you know, it's kind of scary in that sense, because, you know, at that point they become defensive if you question it, to the point where they actually start attacking you.
Yeah.
That, you know, for that sense, you know, and I have, that's personally my experience, is that I've dealt with somebody who I was explaining something to, and I think it was like when Black Panther came out or something like that, and I actually ended up leaving one of the groups that I was in, one of the nerd groups that I was in, because of it, because I'm one of the minority. I really didn't, you know, necessarily like Black Panther on that level as everybody else did, but as I'm explaining my topic, the person actually attacked me and basically said, nobody cares about your dumb opinion.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm like, whoa, like, where did that come from?
That's the thing that sucks with opinions. Is like you can't. It's crazy how the world is right now. You can't give a respectful opinion, without being attacked if it's against popular belief. Exactly. Like, for instance, like, I love Black Panther. You didn't really like it as much. There's a whole group of people that I know right now that would look at you as the enemy.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that's just dumb. Like, I had to learn that personally, because I was one of those guys. I used to be one of those guys where, with not just comic books, with everything, that I had to be right, because I'm stubborn like that. But I remember the day that I got humbled so hard. I was in an in-depth, deep discussion with one of my friends a while ago, a long time ago, and we were talking, and all he said was, "Matthew, shut up. You talk too much. You need to listen." And you know what? When he told me that, I was like, you know what? He's right. I need to shut up and listen. I don't know everything. And it was I was in high school or middle school, going in high school, and I realized, you know what, man, like, there's room to grow and there's room to learn. I can't possibly know everything. And a lot of people need to come to that realization, you know, like I did, as if, you know what, it's okay to know a lot, but it's also okay to admit that you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the most one of the most mature things that people can do. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that these days. I'm the type of person I usually always say I'll like correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, that's just my thoughts. Yeah. I don't know. Like and I'm always like, if you know something that I don't, let me know about it, because one of the things about toxic fandom is that like they think they have all the answers,
right?
But they don't want to. They don't want to share it. Like I'm just gonna run down the list of all the symptoms of toxic fandom. It's destruction of the niche, true obsession. Now, I at one point was guilty of being a true obsession, and that was over Dragon Ball Z. But over time, I grew out of that.
Right. I think we're all guilty of that in some way.
Yeah, and with maturity it comes.
Yeah.
There's high levels of elitism, which we've been seeing a lot of lately. False ownership, which we've just talked about. Yes. Moral superiority, what you experienced, Kim, which was bullying, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
But a lot of these celebrities are experiencing bullying. And then identity politics. And it's like,
But getting to like the bullying part, and I find it so weird for me to see bullying and nerddom and
so ashamed, so shameful.
And I think it comes with this and I hate to say it, with this anti-bullyingism that's going on right now, with this whole mindset of you can't be a bully. Yeah. So people get automatically defensive and they start running towards, you're attacking me, so I'm gonna attack you.
Yeah. That's overly sensitive. I think some people are just they don't know how to, I guess, grow up.
But the truth of the matter is that a lot of these people, and this could be seen as a disrespect to them, but at the end of the day, we got to be real. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people have not mentally grown up.
Yeah,
right.
That's really one of the reasons where toxic fandom comes from is that they, in their mind, they haven't matured enough to see past the point where they might be wrong about something.
Yeah.
Or they don't own that property, or somebody else might have. Yeah.
They don't. A lot of people don't understand what half of the stuff is that they think is happening to them because they've never had it happen to them. Because especially like I said with bullying, because they've never been bullied, so they don't know what that feels like to actually be bullied. They just become defensive, and they become sensitive. But a lot of it, I think with a lot of this, the media also has something to do with it, because they kind of play it on this whole thing as like, oh, they're just passionate about what they're doing. They're just so passionate. They're passionate fans, and they're not.
No.
They're not.
There's a difference between passion and just obsessive and being aggressive, and hateful, because it's like it's like the same thing with religion. Look at it this way. There's it's like this. You have two people on the same spectrum. Let's just say, Christian, Islam, whatever religion it is. There's always these types of people. There's the people who are passionate about their religion, but they respect other people. And then there's also the people who are passionate about their religion and condemn other people and are aggressive to other people, and everyone else is wrong. So there's I find that those two similarities across the board in everything. Music, I'm a musician, and one of the people, I stopped going to this place that we used to do drum nights and stuff like that, and we would go, and one of the things I hated, I don't hang out with drummers no more, man, mainly for this reason, because I'm a drummer, and drummers can be annoying.
That's just a generalization. Be careful.
You're right, but my experience did influence that thought process. But okay, let me rephrase this. The amount of drummers that I've hanging around for quite a while have this way of condemning you with, at least the people that I were around, have this way of condemning you for a certain way how you play, or a certain way how you do this, or the way, or the type of music you listen to. And it's just like, it just boils down to just, your personality, and those are mental things and emotional things that you have to fix, because it goes deeper than just, I'm passionate about this comic book, or I'm passionate about this. It's like, who are you as a person now? You're literally spending your entire life condemning other people who don't see it your way.
Yeah.
And it's like, how could you not, you're taking away, and I know you mentioned that as a topic earlier too, like destroying the niche, or like destroying someone else's, love for something. You should be able to respect someone and disagree with them. It's 100% possible, in my opinion.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's one of the many consequences of toxic fandom, where a fandom fandom becomes so toxic that you yourself, who may have been a true fan, can't even support it anymore because the people who are behind it, have destroyed it for you.
You literally find yourself struggling. I over the past couple of years, I've been in my own mind going, why am I struggling to enjoy Star Wars again? Why am I struggling to enjoy these things? If I can quote, and I always quote the great John Campion, he said, fandom should be about what you love and expressed by what you love, not by what you hate. That's very important.
That's about right.
It's all fandom is all about love and lovingly disagreeing with things. Even in if you saw the movie Fanboys,
I did see that. Oh, Harold, you might have froze up. Oh no.
One guy was like, Boba Fett. Yeah, I got a rocket pack. So does the Rocketeer. Really cool. But they love each other.
It's a fun way of disagreeing if you have love in it. But if you're a hateful person and you feel as though you need to have that anger and that, I can't even think of the word for it, but it's like it becomes boring for you. So because it's boring for you, you have to kind of misery loves company. So therefore, you're going to try to make everybody miserable in that aspect.
Now check this out. Like back in the day, back in the 80s, loving this type of thing was taboo. You were
I was going to say that. I was actually going to say that.
Now that it's become mainstream, for some reason, now it's like Revenge of the Nerd. It's like that was bullied so bad.
Correct.
I was going to say that.
Absolutely correct.
Now it's like, oh yes, now the nerd stuff is big. Now I could be a big guy.
Jerk. I can be a jerk. And it's always behind a keyboard. That's usually where you find a lot. It's not
all the keyboard warriors. Yeah, all the keyboard warriors back there. And I was getting ready to say, like, that plays a part into one of the centers, which is identity politics. Because like you said, up until like maybe like what, 10, 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, this stuff was taboo. If you were into anime, if you were into Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, comic books,
people look at you weird,
especially if you were black.
Especially
you were told to grow up.
Yes.
That Star Wars shit corny, man.
Or like, ain't you too old to be watching cartoons and anime and stuff like, dude? Like,
especially with cartoons.
Man, I was watching Hilda yesterday.
and like, see, but like now it goes to a point where it's like now it's like, because like even I'll be like you do realize that adults make cartoons, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of adults look back on all the stuff that we used to watch as kids. It's like, and it's not talking like about like any action and things. Look at like Doug and Rugrats and how many adult jokes were in those shows.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, oh my god, as an adult you're like, brace yourself.
Man, Incredibles, man. All of Disney's products too. Most of them are like that.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Especially Rocco's Modern Life. Oh my gosh. It's like,
Proud Family. Come on now.
Because there were so many adult jokes in them.
Exactly.
Because it was an adult making it. They were trying to make it for a kid and trying to make it funny for a kid, but come on now. Like
I forgot what it was that I watched recently. I know one of the things that did it for me was Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. Because watching the movie as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is cool! Special effects, proton packs, Act 1, chasing ghosts."
Missed all the adult jokes.
I watch it as an adult, and I'm laughing my ass off at these jokes, and I'm like, "Oh my god, how did I miss all this? I was a kid."
No,
right?
No, but
I was a kid.
But the thing is, it's like you go back and you watch and that's the thing I think about being a fan and being a fan of certain things growing up, is that when you go back as an adult you have that same nostalgia, and you kind of lose it when people go back and they're just like arguing in your ear about all the negative things about it, and you're
you know what I've seen I've seen this a lot, and I maybe I felt this way earlier on, like way before I started doing YouTube and stuff. I think this is a while back, man. This is a lot of transformations happened, especially with me and how I treated certain things with fandom. But what I've seen a lot was because you mentioned earlier that it was taboo and people bullied you for it or looked at you wrong for it. Now, I've seen people who now they are fans of hardcore comic book fans and they love the movies, then they appreciate the movies, and they yes, like, you know, they're putting our stuff on screen. I love it. And then here comes the gym jock who's never watched or read a comic book in his life, and he's this, and he's always thought it was nerdy, he knows nothing, comes in like, oh, I love this. And I've seen the fans go like, hold up, this is my thing. You like the gym, which is possible to go to the gym and be a nerd too, is possible, but like you go to the gym, you like sports, you do your thing, this is my thing. You leave it alone. And then that's why I saw some of the aggression comes in, and you're like, no, this is mine.
That also goes back farther.
This is my special thing. This thing for me and my community. You don't belong here kind of mentality. I've seen it.
Yeah, that goes back further than that.
Bullying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what it is that when we got to think, when we were younger, how many times were you either beat up, picked on, anything like that for being a nerd?
Exactly.
You know? Just for being a nerd. And then now somebody enters
there was this laser tag. There was this laser tag franchise called Photon that I was obsessed over, and they had Photon franchises all over the place. One on Route 22, and I loved Photon so much because it gave you an opportunity to actually live out your sci-fi dreams. It was basically laser tag. You had this heavy ass helmet, you had a chest plate, you had a battery pack, and a Photon a phaser, and you would square off red versus green, and the experience was so much fun. You had lights, lasers, and effects, scored points, and you know, it was a lot of fun and everything. Everything was all sci-fi'd out, and I would draw Photon on my notebook, and there was this guy looking over my shoulder like, man, you shot the F out of a Photon. I should kick your ass. Like,
oh Lord.
I was like, bro.
Yeah, because it was because when we grew up, we knew what bullying was. Yeah. But the thing is that a lot of us grew out of it. Yeah. Some of us stayed in place, and it was just like some of the people, they were just so, and it's, you know, they're still the victims. And so when these people come in, they're like, oh well, you know, you shouldn't be into this because you were the jock in high school, you know. And it's not fair because we should be welcoming everyone into the community.
Exactly.
I mean, I've definitely up to last year, I heard the most ridiculous thing. It made me laugh. Like these let's call it, it's like this girl and it's like her two sisters and blah 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 blah. And I was interested in this girl, and I was trying to talk with her or whatever like that. And then come to find out, this is the most funniest thing. I found out that she didn't want to be in a relationship with me because I wore a lot of comic book T-shirts. And that I love comic books. So some of that mentality of like the bullying and like the judgmental part of loving, it's still here. It's still here. Like it's still present, but it's definitely more accepted now. Depending on, because Black Panther 2 is another thing that allowed people. I saw someone comment saying that they were bullied. He's in high school and he still gets bullied for liking Marvel and DC. But there's people who've seen Black Panther, and they don't even know anything about comic books, and everybody's like, Wakanda forever, Wakanda forever.
Forever. It's like,
and like everyone's appreciating it now, and it's just like, where did this come from?
I love it because of the fact that, you know, a lot of, especially with that being the first pretty much majority Black cast.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Marvel movie, that was like a big thing, and I appreciate it for what it was, you know. And a lot of people are now starting to get back into it, getting into the whole Marvel scene, starting to get into everything else, because now that they see what Black Panther is and seeing that he's going to go forward in a lot of these movies, they're coming out more and more. And, you know, I love it. I love what's happening right now and everything else. I just don't love the toxicity that comes with it.
Yeah.
You know, the geek and nerd universe, at least the properties that we enjoy so much, have done a great deal of incorporating a lot of people into the geek and nerd universe. You know, the MCU you know, all these TV shows and stuff on TV right now, these comic books right now, even anime and cartoons and stuff, has created a universe now where there's a lot more people, there's a lot more of us than there were back when we were like in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you said, Kim, the toxicity of it all is just getting way out of hand. And, you know, I've noticed, or at least I've been starting to notice, that a lot of the consequences of toxic fandom is like certain things get changed around now.
Yeah.
Like say if like a franchise was going in one direction, but people were completely against it, then it becomes something else. Hell, Iron Fist just got canceled. I would venture to say that most of that has to deal with the fans. The people
I think
who are watching it, that has to deal with the fans.
If there's no fans, there's no money to be made.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys though, and I know it's a little bit off topic from where you're going. Being a female, you know, and also in the gamer community, what do you think a lot of this hatred towards female nerds and female gamers is coming from?
A lot of it, I'll go first.
Guys get their asses kicked by wonderful people like you.
That's part of it.
That's a lot of it too, yeah.
That's a lot of it, Harold. I think that's a lot of it. But I think where a lot of it comes from, and a lot of it can still be kind of seen till this day.
Yeah.
Is the fact that, you know, video games has mainly been seen as a male activity, and when females are in the picture, they either are disliking it, they're disliking the guy that they're with playing games, or there's always a scene of a guy being annoyed with a girl trying to learn how to play. In my honest opinion, I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I have two sisters, and we all grew up playing video games together. Me and Katani play video games quite often when we get the chance to play video games.
Yeah.
I think I want to kind of say it's a kind of a sexist mentality that is still kind of embedded in the minds of guys.
Yep.
Because the girl, she plays games, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it's like some of the best gamers out there
are
girls.
female.
Shoot,
some of my favorite streamers are women, and it's crazy. And sorry for cutting you off there, Harold. A lot of them they happen to be female, and what's crazy is that there's people who are this is another thing too. Like, there's a lot of female streamers that exploit their fan base because they know that they are attractive, so they intentionally dress a certain way to draw a certain type of people. However, I've seen female gamers that don't dress like that, and they're just darn good at the game. And I'm like, man, I'm like, you good.
There's one I know in particular, and I'm forgetting her daggone name. I actually follow her on YouTube. Like, she does a lot of fighting game videos. I know one of her main ones is like Mortal Kombat X. She's like from the UK, and I forget her daggone name, but I follow her. She doesn't dress like that. In fact, most of the time, you don't even see her on screen. She's just playing. I think the stigma of the female video gamer, that's just one that's is perpetuated by guys. I don't even think it's really so much girls that do it. Girls that don't play video games, because from what I've seen, the amount of girls that play video games now is way more than when it was when we were younger.
Yes.
What about the ones that are into like comic books and things of that nature? Like, this is the same thing. Like, those fans, I think they hit the hardest when it comes to, like, you know.
Well, I wanted to add this, just real quick things to that. Is like Ken said, like the male mentality. It's like, you know, it's like, imagine being, you know, most of you guys grew up in like what like late 80s, early like 90s era around there, right? So it's like being in the 90s and you're doing a push-up contest, and you're known for being the best push-up guy in this whole school, and this girl just comes in and does 10 more push-ups than you, and you're like, okay, now the male is programmed to feel like their manhood is being threatened, that their male dominance is being threatened. And I think that a lot of that translated or got pushed onto the comic book world, the gaming world, and everything. And you know, most men have that mentality where it's like, you know what? No, if I'm a gamer, I have to be better than you, even if you're a female. And it's like, if you're better than me, then that makes me feel like less of a man. And they're like, you know, like a lot of men do think like that. It
is definitely a product of the fragile male ego.
Yeah.
That is definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's again, I guess it's like what Matthew was saying. It's like one of those things. Like I guess that's supposed to be like a haven for guys, but you know, I've always been the type of person. Speaking just for me myself, I've always been the type of that is like, if everyone can enjoy it,
yeah,
then everyone should enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like on Free Comic Book Day, I even make sure to pick up comic books for my niece to read, just because. Just because, even if she doesn't read them, at least they're there. Because
you don't want them to feel like it's a male thing versus a female thing. Like I shouldn't have Barbie dolls versus an action figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I know.
It's like, and it's crazy that you got a lot of these people, especially the older generation, which is really where a lot of this comes from.
Yeah,
it's a lot of the older generation where they feel like they have to separate these things based on gender. Now, don't get me wrong. I still say a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl.
Yeah,
I still say that, but at a kid level, toys is toys, okay?
Right.
Toys is toys, games is games. Kids can play whatever the heck they want. I mean, they really shouldn't be worried about acquiring a gender identity. They shouldn't be focused on that. They should be focused on being a kid.
Yeah.
You know, as they get older, you know, get into middle school and high school, and puberty starts to hit. That's when they can figure all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And hopefully by that time they'll be wrapped up in video games and toys and all that stuff, so they won't even be thinking about it. That's the hope.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I think a big part of it is the fragile male ego. They feel like something has to be for them, and you know, like, I mean, granted, I think there's some things that are definitely more guy centric, and there are definitely things that are more women centric. But there are just some things on this planet that everybody can enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I started I actually find it even cooler if, let's say, a kid is better at a certain game, or a female is into the same things that I'm into. I actually find that more cool, because I'm used to guys being into the stuff that I'm into. You know, I'm used to a lot of dudes being. So if there's a female that comes and tells me, because my she's not really too much into the comic book stuff, but let's say I meet a girl and she knows just as much as I do when it comes to comic books. I'm like, okay, let's be friends. All right, let's go. Yeah, like I'm cool. Like I'm actually excited about that. It's like, if you're, I met this one girl. She's actually better than me in this particular game that we play, and I just find it amazing. Because it's like, man, I don't like you're just a gamer. As a matter of fact, I don't even view you. You're just a gamer, and you know, Kim brought it up earlier. Like, you do. I mean, I do feel like females do face more of a challenge to have to, I guess, prove themselves in the gamer community, mainly because it's majority,
and
the nerd community too, mainly because it's a lot of men. You know, so I do feel like, you know, they do have to feel like they have to prove themselves. I'm not trying to speak for everyone. I'm just trying to make an assumption. Just by the way,
it's a generalization, but it works for like a majority of females in that particular sense.
Because because I can tell you, like, Tani, she doesn't read comic books. She doesn't. I do, but that doesn't stop us from enjoying
the
like
same thing.
The MCU or the DCEU or even all the Arrowverse shows and the stuff on TV. That doesn't stop us from enjoying that stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, like when we're at a point where now, like, and again, symptom of toxic fandom is like where we have to prove our fandom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Where we have to prove that we're a fan of something. I'm like, no. Like, it's like, I mean, even you know, I know a lot of us after a while, like, you know, because, like, again, I'm not a big Marvel comic reader, but I enjoy the hell out of the movies. Yeah. I enjoy the hell, and if I want to know more, I'll go research more. But like, we can't live in a world where we're shunning people because they only like certain aspect of a franchise and not the other.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So there's another YouTube channel I won't reference them or anything because of this. But there was a scenario where one person claimed to be more of a Black Panther fan than the other.
Oh, good.
And
there we go.
The guy was like, you know what? No, you're not allowed to be a Black Panther fan. You're a Superman fan. You can be a Superman fan. Let me be a Black Panther fan. And then the Superman fan is like, well, okay, well, I'm about to learn everything about Black Panther.
Is that like the battle of elitism right there?
They literally,
Like,
they literally, it was entertaining, but they literally had a live stream where they had a face off with who knows more than black, you know. But you see, the thing is, they're close friends, and they all did it for entertainment and whatever. But I definitely feel though that they took it personal though, to a point where, and I have seen that among some of my own friends, where it's like, well, the YouTube channel, I feel. Arkham says, sorry, one of the guys said they know the channel I'm talking about. Yeah, they're friends, so I wouldn't really. They're friends, so it wasn't that bad of a thing. But it's definitely something that happened, especially around my group of friends that I grew up with. I've seen them like, oh, you're not allowed to be an Anakin, a Darth Vader fan. You're not allowed to be one, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not allowed to be a Darth Vader fan. What you mean?
I'm allowed to do anything I want. I'm a human being.
Exactly. Well, do you guys think that? Do you guys think, this is my question? Do you guys think that that type of approach, that you're not allowed to be a fan of something, would turn new fans off from even getting into something?
It can go one of two ways. It depends on the personality of the person who's receiving it. Because it could either go to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna stop being a fan, or I can go, no, I'm gonna be a diehard fan just because you said that. And I'm gonna prove you wrong.
That's true.
So it can go one of two ways. So therefore, it's like one of those. It depends on who you speak to and how.
Like I've never seen that type of experience ever, but I don't doubt that it doesn't happen, as you just talked about. But what Kim said is right. It definitely creates a scenario where it's like it's a catch-22. You're either gonna turn that person off completely to whatever the property is, or you're gonna turn that person into another toxic fan who goes completely super diehard,
where they feel forced to become this aggressive diehard fan.
Just like women, now we have to force to prove ourselves. Now I have to force to prove to you that I am now a fan of this. So I'm gonna now prove you wrong. I'm gonna become the bully.
That's why like I personally stopped doing reactions to My Hero Academia. I used to do them, and I stopped doing it because I'm like, because you have these toxic fans in the end, and I'm debating whether I should continue Attack on Titan reaction style or not. But there's been a lot of warnings I've heard from people where the fandom is just so controlling. They feel like we were saying, they feel like they own this. And if you say one thing wrong, you are the enemy. And it's just like,
and they'll jump down your throat.
And I'm like, man,
jump down your throat, and you're like, what happened? Like,
in fact, you got to excuse me for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. But it's like it's as far as that, I'm like, it's when you're talking about like my Hero Academia. Do you think there's any other toxic fandoms that are like out there, like the most toxic out of them all?
Right now, The Flash is getting to a point where I have a friend who's has one of the biggest Instagram pages on Instagram for The Flash, and he even recently told me and some other people that, you know what, man, I don't even feel like being a fan of The Flash anymore. Like, I don't even feel like enjoying this because the fandom is just so bad. Everything that they post is aggressive, and it's mean, and it's like, there's a difference. Here's the difference, right? I'll use myself as an example. One of my biggest rants that I've had concerning Titans was not the actress, but the people, like you said, the production, who intentionally leave out certain details. And I'm like, okay, like, people rant about the DCEU, and you're like, look, man, these are small details that you should not mess up. I need to know why you're doing this. And there's a difference between me addressing people not focusing on certain plot points or certain character details that are very important, opposed to somebody who is flat out just body shaming the actress, body shaming the actor, body shaming this, or being destructive to the costume, or being destructive to the actress as a person. Like, all that stuff is just horrible. And definitely The Flash is one of those shows that recently the fandom started to get so bad. It went from being everyone, oh yeah, we love The Flashes on TV, to now every single thing everyone hates. Everything.
What about Kendrick?
I actually just pulled up a list of some of the most toxic fandoms that are in existence right now. I meant to put this on the production notes, but I didn't. But like I can tell you right off the top of my head, Star Wars is one of them. Star Wars is one of the most toxic fandoms that are in existence right now.
It's very sad. Very sad.
Anime, like Matthew was just saying, anime can be one of them because My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, even.
You can even go as far as Sailor Moon, even sometimes.
Oh my God! Yes.
Sailor Moon. Definitely Sailor Moon. Dragon Ball Z still kind of with Dragon Ball Super, but definitely Sailor Moon.
Naruto too. That's another one.
Naruto. Oh, definitely.
Gosh,
Naruto.
don't. I'm like, first of all,
Bleach and One Piece.
I'm gonna talk about. I got told something, and I apologize to Naruto friends. I won a figure, and I didn't know who it was, and like I got chewed out for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I felt so bad afterwards. Like I felt so horrible. I was like, I don't even want to learn about it anymore. But okay,
exactly. Let's see. Looking at the list here, someone says Steven Universe is one of them.
Rick and Morty.
Oh my God, Rick and Morty.
Before because that was the one where they had the Szechuan sauce thing with McDonald's, and people were like flipping out at McDonald's.
Adventure Time is a huge one as well.
Adventure Time is another one.
But I was, before we actually got on, what I actually was saying to Kendrick and Harold, one of the ones that shocked me, and I didn't even know about it, and it's not even like, I guess it's not even like as far as like comic book fandom or anything like that. It was Elon Musk was like one of the biggest toxic fan driven people, and you couldn't say a word.
And I had no idea. Wow. That was even like I like until Kim brought it up, I would have never guessed that Elon Musk would have been a source of toxic fandom. You know
what happened with that? I don't know what's going on. What happened with Elon Musk?
I'm a little lost on that.
Okay, so basically he has and I forgot the name they gave his fan club, but he has a fan club of, and I hate to say it this way, majority white males. Who worship him in every way, shape, and form for what he has done.
Wow.
So if you say anything negative, they will come after you. In any way, that's Twitter, YouTube, whatever.
Wow.
In full force in order to actually make you look bad for actually saying anything against him. I have nothing against the guy. I mean, I don't know him personally, so I can't say anything against him.
Right.
But it's kind of sad that you can't even, make a comment about the man without, it being an issue. And especially, like Kendra said, especially with everything that's happening right now with him.
I thought it's crazy because I give Elon Musk a lot of props. I admire the guy. Don't get me wrong. I admire the guy. This guy created the Tesla. I think that's a pretty dope car.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty dope car. And especially with what happened with him recently with him, people criticizing him for smoking, for smoking some weed on the Joe Rogan Experience, and then him being ousted out as CEO of Tesla Motors.
Mm-hmm.
I made a joke saying like, I hope this guy doesn't end up turning into the Green Goblin. So I think that's exactly what happened to Norman Osborn.
Well, I think what happened with him with the CEO thing, I think he made a deal that forced him to resign as the chairman, but still keep his position as the CEO. So, because before I think he was the chairman of the board and the CEO, but now he's just the CEO and no longer the chairman. So I think that's what happened with that. But I've been hearing a lot of negative stuff with him. I didn't know anything about the fan club at all. Is this something that he created?
No.
So he basically became like a Haile Selassie.
Yeah, the article that I read, it said to his fan club, Musk is so much more than a charismatic artist, a talented musician, or a flawed but successful tech entrepreneur. He's a messiah.
Wow.
Someone said he's getting sued for calling someone a pedophile.
Who?
Someone said that Elon Musk got sued for calling someone else a pedophile.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's crazy. So the man can't even make a comment?
You can't make a comment against him. They think he is. They think he is the next Messiah, and everything he says is the gospel, and that's it.
That's crazy.
Okay, so Elon's Jesus then.
So he became an idol essentially.
Yeah, he became an idol.
Unfortunately, with toxic fandom though, is like anytime anyone dealing with the property says something that the fandom doesn't like, they turn their toxicity onto that person. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and it just gets crazy because again, looking at this list of toxic fandoms, you know, we talked about anime, we talked about Sonic, Steven Universe, Rick and Morty,
what's another one?
Mario. Mario and Zelda.
Mario and Zelda. Maybe I don't even know if would Fortnite be considered one?
Oh my, yes, Fortnite is 100%.
But the thing about Fortnite, believe it or not, a lot of the people that are coming out of Fortnite are under the age of 15.
Yeah, they're children.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of kids. Like I'm at work. I'm at work at my day job and my karate school, and what do I see kids doing? All these dumbass Fortnite dances. It came to a point where I told the kids at my karate school, "You can't do that here anymore. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see those dances."
And it's scary to me because it's like these kids are like 15 and they're already. You hear some of these conversations over, and you're like, where are you learning this from? Like when I was 15, I wouldn't dare say that. You know, because I would be out of the house.
That's a whole nother topic because my cousin is 12 years old and they're talking about people in her school involving in adult related things.
Oh yeah.
At 12 years old with each other, just saying. So I'm like, that's, you know, the way how the world is changing now with certain things, it's so much different compared to when I was 12. And I've heard literally kids going back to Fortnite, like skip school, or well, you know, kids skip school all the time. They do that, but it's become a point where the Fortnite addiction has taken over their mind to the point where it's like, you know, if I, like, for instance, like I'm part of the Fortnite community right now. I'm just casually doing it right now. I used to be super thick, but right now I'm just playing whenever. And whenever I play, if you're playing, I've been on online rooms with people, and most gaming communities are like this, like with COD, like hardcore COD fans and whatever. Yeah. The minute, like, let's say I can't build properly, right?
Yeah,
I'm the attacking and the this and the this, and you don't have this skin, and I'm like, whoa. Like it reminds me like old school Call of Duty days, like when you play Modern Warfare 2, and the minute, like, you know, you miss your shot, you just hop on because you ain't played a game in like a whole month. You just trying to chill, right? You trying to you getting yelled at somebody.
Imagine being a female playing online for the first time with a mic, and then them finding out you're a girl.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Oh,
like being told to go back to the kitchen is not my, you know.
Wow.
Oh no, wrong.
Actually, Kim, I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, I don't play online only because I just don't have the time to be sitting there trying to chat with people about online stuff. But like, that's one of the reasons I don't want to hear everyone losing their damn minds over a game. Because I'm gonna be here like, because I'm just gonna be here like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
Like I think that happened to me one time years ago when I was playing Tekken 5 online, and the person I was fighting, the first part I was fighting was getting like really mad, and I'm like, dude, it's just a game.
I can believe it.
Like, dude, and I'm like, dude, it's just a game. I've been playing Tekken since like the first one. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, relax.
Just chill.
Yo, I am busting to talk to you guys about what happened with me. And I was playing Halo one night, and I apparently was playing with a bunch of guys that apparently were like really, really like experts and everything. And my online tag is Total Defiance. Every time I died, some dude was like, "Hey, Total, man, you better pick up your game, man." And I'm playing, and I kept dying. He was, "Stop freaking dying!"
Yes.
After a while, they got so bad that I just said, "You know what? I'm just gonna keep dying in ridiculous ways. I'm gonna blow myself up. I'm like, oh, you don't like me dying, huh? Here, I'm just gonna kill myself. Boom, that's flying.
But that's,
that's something my sister would do that.
Example of like that extreme level that I was talking about. Like for me, that ran me off of online. That ran me off of online play because I stopped playing online altogether because of that fact. But you know, for you. You kind of just said, whatever, I'm just going to keep dying because you keep messing with me.
I deal with it like that too. Like I always say, like I troll people who try to get, you know, because it's like, it's a difference when you're playing with a group of friends and y'all making fun of each other for dying. Like, man, you trash, bro. Like, but you don't mean it in a certain way. You joking with your homie, right? But then when you get online and people are literally, I want to Overwatch one night. I'm just like, you know what, man, I just want to get in this Overwatch game real quick. Let me just get a little quick, you know, team deathmatch, see what's going on. I hop on there and, you know, Overwatch, you have specific roles. Either you're a healer or you're a flanker, or you're this. So I'm a healer. I'm going around doing what I got to do, trying to heal people. And then at the end of the game, this dude just comes on and he throws the N-word at me. So he was like, Ooh, yeah, you N-word, you trash, you this, and you're like, get off the game, go and kill yourself. I'm like, bro, it was one match. Are you winning? Are you not even winning any money for this? Like, what are you doing?
Speaking of that, like,
you know
there was actually, I believe it was a YouTuber, swatting was a big thing for a while.
Yeah.
Where they would call SWAT teams on people, and there was actually, I think one person was actually killed because of that.
Right.
People were like, basically, you know, you need to kill yourself or you need to die. And it's like, why does it have to go to that extreme? Because you know, there's some people that are actually very miserable out there.
Exactly.
And I'm going to throw this out there. There are people that are very miserable and they use video games to get away from it all. And when you're telling them to die, you're telling them to go kill themselves, and you're basically, you know, instilling in their mind that they need to commit suicide. So just because you're sitting up there basically saying to them, you're not directly doing anything or you're not directly the cause of it, you're actually contributing to it. So you know, for those people that are watching that do that stuff, just keep that in mind, is that they're not people, there's people that have fragile minds out there and they are not able to handle that.
Escapism is a big thing, you know. Escapism is a big thing, especially when or escapism, however is the right pronunciation for that word. But it's like, you know, people like me, you know, I do YouTube and involve myself in anime and things like that because real life can suck sometimes, and sometimes you just need a little distraction every now and again to kind of clear your head. And there's people who, that's how I got through a lot of, because I'm a person who went through depression, and that's how I used to get out of that when I was younger. And there's, like Kim said, there's people who go through real, like, they have bad homes, bad life, bad family situation, you know, mommy daddy issues, sister issues, whatever the case is. And they use video games as a place of escape. And you go there, or movies, or nerds, or nerd content, you know, comic books, or you know, whatever it is, and they use it as an escape. And for someone else to go and be like, you should die because you don't agree with me. Go kill yourself because you suck at this game more than I do. That's just so unnecessary, unwarranted, and it's sad that the gaming community and the nerd community as a whole, the geek community as a whole, has come to a place like this where people are literally being told that they need to end their life either for their own opinion, the fact that they may not be as skilled in the game, the fact that they prefer something else other than the other thing. That should not be.
And Matthew, you touched on something that I'm surprised I didn't bring up earlier in this podcast. Is you know, one of the most toxic fandoms is the YouTube universe.
Yes.
Like me, you, Harold, both, all of us being YouTubers. I can tell you right now, I mean, I don't get it as much now, but I remember early in my YouTube career, there was a lot of hate that used to come my way in the comment section. You know, doing reaction videos and stuff, which is something that's gotten a lot of hate early on, but now
it's more accepted.
It's more accepted and a lot more mainstream.
Yep.
You know, I remember I would get comments of people trying to curse me out using the N-word, and I'm like, dude, you're sitting behind a keyboard making a comment to a video that, you know, you didn't even produce.
Man, I've had
to your face.
Yeah, exactly. I've had people tell me long ago, and I still get it every now and again. It's just that now I have a better way of dealing with it now.
Right.
But I've had, you know, now I just realize them for the keyboard warriors they are. But now you have people who literally tell me all the time, like, it's eased down a lot now, but before. And it made me ashamed to tell people that they asked me, what I do for work. I tell them I'm a YouTuber for work. And they asked me what I do on my YouTube channel. Before, I used to be ashamed to say that I did a lot of reactions on my channel. And now I'm not ashamed about that, because people used to comment and be like, oh, all you, and I remember Tyrone Magnus did a recent live stream about this, ranting about someone telling him he doesn't deserve everything he had.
I saw that.
You saw that, right?
I didn't see
He gets this all the time when people say, oh, you have 1 million subscribers, all you do is sit behind a computer. You know? What happened?
I'm not sorry to cut you off, but
oh, no worries.
That was actually going to be something. I was actually going to do a video on that about whether you want to do something as a hobby or if you want to do something as a career. Because after I saw that video that Tyrone Magnus did, I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right. Because keep going.
No, that's fine. No, I was just saying that people are saying that all he does is reactions. All you do is reactions. You don't deserve this. All you do is talk about comic books, and you get paid for it. And it's like, as a YouTuber, somebody who I'm pretty sure Ken, you can relate to this. Howard, you can relate to this too. It's like you go on YouTube because you want to share what you love with people, right? And you want to share your thoughts and opinions. I started YouTube because I wanted to share what I had to say with people. I didn't come here to be bullied by you.
Yeah.
You know?
And you find yourself, even sometimes as a viewer, you find yourself defending a lot of the YouTubers in the sense that, a lot of the people that come in there, they just come in there to start and pick fights. And they do it to pick fights with other people, with the YouTubers themselves. And, the benefit is that when you have a strong fan base and a positive fan base, because you attract what you put out, pretty much. If you have a very positive fan base, they will go back for you, and they will actually keep going for you. And that's the love that I like about being a fan and being part of the fandom universe, is that when you find the people that love what you love, you connect a lot better. And like you said, as time goes on, you find that you get less and less of the hate and more of the love.
Because I will say this, because I really started my YouTube channel back in 2015. It's 2018 now, and it's like when I initially started it, it was a way for me to pretty much share the stuff I like, because depending on how big your friendship circle is, you're not always gonna have someone that's gonna you're gonna want to you can share this stuff with. Yeah. So when I started my YouTube channel, it was like, there were things that were online that you like to watch, and just because Tyrone Magnus actually just put out another video where I think a news station did a report on the rise of reaction videos. And just like you, Matthew, I was in the same boat. I was like a point where I didn't really want to admit that I did reaction videos, but after a while I was just like, you know what am I ashamed of? Right. Especially if you're watching something that you really like, reaction videos can be fun. I did one for the second trailer of Glass that came out a couple days ago, and I had a blast watching that damn trailer. And I'm pretty sure the people who see the reaction video are gonna know exactly why I had a blast watching that trailer. But
I didn't see it yet. Was it really that good?
I didn't see it either.
Listen. The trailer for Glass is perfection.
Oh yeah, I saw it. It's awesome.
All right, I'm finna react to it after this Blerdcast.
Okay, well.
I'm excited for. I'm actually very, very, very excited for this because of the fact that there's so much going on.
Please go watch the trailer, please. You have no idea. The first trailer was cool. The first trailer for Glass was cool, but this second trailer though.
All right, so this one's fire then.
Yeah,
and I actually came across it by accident. It wasn't on purpose that I went to go watch the second trailer. I was actually just sitting on YouTube one day and it just popped up. I'm like, oh.
I had no idea it was dropping until I saw people on Facebook talking about the second trailer for Glass was dropping. I'm like, what? So then, right after work, I was like, I gotta get somewhere so I can record this. So I was just like, okay. But no, Glass. I think Glass is gonna be so dope. I think it's gonna be really dope. And and as a fan of Unbreakable and Split,
that combination is so wonderful. What they're doing with it is so awesome.
Exactly.
Question real quick. Sorry. Do you this is for Kim. I know Kim. I don't know if you guys if Harold and Ken are more into horror. I know Kim, I know you're into horror stuff. So, do you think the horror genre, especially now, has a huge toxic fandom, especially with the reboots of certain films?
A lot of things are coming directly, from my opinion, a lot of it's coming directly from Hollywood itself. And it's because you're taking these movies out of Asia and out of all these countries where those movies have originated, and they're remaking them. And you're making them not in a very good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not interpreting it very well. You know, it's that whole thing. It goes back to like the Ring and stuff like that. When you brought the Ring over, it was cool. But when you actually saw Ringo, oh my God, you were like sitting in your seat like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. You know, a lot of these movies they bring over, it doesn't have that same kind of touch. And the same thing like Train to Busan that's coming out. They're bringing out an American version of that. Yeah. I am not happy about it because I love the original. And the original. The original was like, it had me like, I had to walk out of the room because I was like so like freaked out by it.
Train to Busan is insane. Oh my God, it's insane.
You gotta send me the name of that in the chat. I want to see it.
Oh,
now.
You never seen
Nah,
Train to
never.
Busan? Oh,
I'm not a big horror dude.
If you like Walking Dead, like this is Walking Dead on steroids.
Really?
Like this is like the like ultimate like it like the ultimate realistic scenario that can happen, and you're like, oh my gosh, if this happened to me, I wouldn't even know how to begin to know what to do with this.
Okay.
It's very good. It was very well made. It was very well done. But it's I think a lot of the hate comes from a lot of that coming over here, and then the gentrification of it once it comes over here.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
You know, it's where you make the Ring, you bring out all white actresses and actors and things of that nature, instead of bringing over Asians and things like that. So I think a lot of the power from it comes from that, you know, that mindset that they have. Because if you actually watch, because I'm one of those people, I watch more foreign horror movies. I watch American horror,
and they're very well done.
Yeah, very well done. And it's like a lot of them are like little well-known stuff, you know, little well-known things. I forget the name of the movie, but the one movie has a scene. The opening scene is so crazy. The girl's sitting on a bus, and then she wants to go pick everything up, and then she looks back up, and everybody's head's chopped off, and half the bus.
Oh yes. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of that movie. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm like, that's your opening scene. I'm like, you're like, hold on, wait a second. What did I just walk into? Like, that's what I mean with like a lot of foreign films. They have a little bit more impact, and they have a little more thought process because things are a little bit different over there. They have a different fear. You know, the fear is a kind of like different thing. It's a lot more supernatural, a lot more. And when you bring it over, that's where a lot of the hate comes from.
Yeah.
It doesn't transfer very well. So it can be toxic because if you do like some of the American movies, like I don't hate on anybody who likes any of the American versions of it.
Right.
I could disagree with you and say, maybe I like this a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, like Battle Royale versus Hunger Games. I like Battle Royale a lot better.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, you're gonna have that back and forth. Not saying that I don't like the Hunger Games. It's just, you know, you're gonna have more back and forth versus, you know, which one's better.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, hate over the fact that you like that version.
Yeah.
So being that horror genre style, I understand where it's coming from, and it's from Hollywood itself. It's not from anywhere else.
Man, I'm learning a lot about. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't even know there was a different like most horror movies and stuff originating in that part of the world. Like I didn't know. I'm learning a lot. I didn't even know anything about the Battle Royale and I didn't know anything about that.
Battle Royale is serious. Like if you have to watch a movie, I would say Train to Busan. Battle Royale is
Train
critical.
to Busan. Train to Busan was good.
but Battle Royale is one of those critical movies that you have to kind of watch, especially if you're a Hunger Games fan, because it actually came out prior to the Hunger Games.
I heard, I think I did hear that Hunger Games was inspired by.
Well, the thing is, the woman said she didn't. The woman that wrote it, Suzanne. I couldn't think of her name right now.
Collins or something like that.
Yeah, she said that she never read Battle Royale nor saw the movie at all. So she says she was not inspired by that. But if you actually watch the movie and read that book,
they're very similar.
Very similar. It's like very similar.
They are very similar. Before we wrap up the main topic of discussion, do we have any questions on your side, Matthew?
Yeah, we had a couple of questions earlier. I think I gotta scroll through. Mainly a lot of the comments are people are saying that they really enjoy the Council of Blerds.
Okay,
they enjoy it. We've had over 21 people here watching strong for 2 hours.
Cool.
Thank you for watching.
Everybody's grabbing popcorn and food and watching it. So, but 2 questions I remember.
We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you guys coming out, especially early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Tell everybody about it. Get more people to come and watch. Tell everybody about
we got a $2 donation.
Sweet.
Oh, really?
All right, we making money out here.
So
I can buy a bag of chips. I could buy a bag of chips in Arizona. All right. Doing it big now.
2 questions. I remember Chris Rodriguez asked this question. I'm just trying to find it. Okay. Okay, they're not that deep of a question, but the first question was, what are our favorite superheroes and why? And another person asked, what did we think about the Spider-Man Far From Home pictures that were released yesterday? If you guys saw them.
I didn't even see them.
I didn't see them.
It's pretty cool.
I've been online for a week.
It's pretty cool.
I'll talk about the Spider-Man Far From Home pictures. I dig the suit. I definitely did the red and black suit.
Black, yeah.
I'm getting which one I'm getting vibes from. I mean, it's almost kind of a cross between Miles Morales' Spider-Man suit, but it takes more from
New Alliance, I think, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like the gloves that Spider-Man has in that suit, they remind me more of Miles Morales. But the suit itself, I think, is pretty dope. I really dig the red and black suit. I think it's a pretty good suit.
What do you think about the MJ scenes? Did you see those?
Yes, I did see those.
With MJ being swung through the city.
So I just really hope. I mean, they tried to fake the funk in Spider-Man: Homecoming with her. What's her name? Michelle.
Michelle, yeah, MJ.
Then they threw the MJ. I remember I sat in the movie theater when she said that. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah, yeah.
People call me
really,
MJ.
really, dog. MJ word. That's what we're doing now. All right, MCU. I see y'all. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I just want to know what the story is. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because this is the 3rd suit change in the film so far.
Because he has a couple of suits in the movie.
He has, I think, the stealth suit, they're calling it. I think he had the original Iron Spider at one point, and now this one.
Yeah.
So I need to know what's going on with that.
Find out like what timeline this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what Kendrick was kind of going with that, to find out where it is in the storyline.
Yeah, because we got to figure Avengers 4 comes out, April of next year? And let me just go on record to say this. If we don't get a trailer for Avengers 4, I will be okay.
I will be fine.
Trailer,
I don't need a trailer.
Just a standard poster with just the logo, with just the name of it. No trailer. Cool. I'll be okay.
I honestly prefer no trailer now, actually, though. I can live with having no trailer because the curiosity of what's going to happen has me more intrigued than actually seeing a trailer. I don't.
One of your people actually responded that said it's immediately after Avengers 4. That's what Marvel said, that they're putting it out.
I guess that makes sense then. All right. I mean, if that's how it's going to work, then that's pretty cool.
Someone said, what if it's a Spider-Verse movie? Maybe those spider suits were different Spider-Mans.
Now that would be good, but I know we're also getting Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, which I'm very much looking forward to too. Yeah. Now, if it's a tie into both, if those are both tied into each other, then I think that would be very interesting. Yeah. I think that would be very interesting. Now, as far as like the other question about the favorite superhero, you guys can go ahead first.
Mine should be
top three.
Well, I'm more of a villain person. I'm not more of a super. I like villains more than I like superheroes.
Okay.
Obviously, because my name is Enigma Gal. So that should let you know right there. But let me think. My top 3. That's good.
Now, is this a broad thing? It doesn't have to be specific to just DC or Marvel. It can
just broad, anime, whatever it is.
Okay.
Anything.
All right. All right, my top three. I want to say Batman, but
that's that's my number one. But the thing is, it's like thinking of 2 and 3 is kind of hard.
Yeah,
that's like.
I would say
you can go by universe if it makes it easier.
I would say Batman is my number one. Batman is definitely my number one.
And I like the Hulk. My personal thing, I like Hulk too. But,
my number. Wow.
All right, well, I'll say I could run mine down. I think my number one favorite superhero, as far as like from now I'm talking about from the comics now, comic book version, has always been the Flash, because he was like, I love his powers, and I also love his lightheartedness in the beginning. I like he was funny and he was a show off. Next favorite would be Superman, because I do kind of relate to him, because I mean, like, and I think we can all relate to him in a way, because we all are gift. We all have a gift, and it's a lot gets placed on us sometimes with that gift, and we can't be everywhere and every time. We get being misunderstood. Sometimes we feel like we're among human beings, but we feel so foreign, and we're doing the best that we can to try to do the right thing. I can relate to Superman. People say that Superman is unrelatable. I say nonsense. He's very relatable. And my third favorite superhero, these are not in any particular order, even though I love the Flash so much. Luke Cage, a guy that was trying to right his wrongs, who because in the comic books he did run around with with the gang and everything, but he turned his life around, being falsely accused and trying to just be a good man and use what he has to try to help people, but not like overstep his boundaries. So
just to chime in, Katani, she commented saying that she commented her 3. She said number 1 is Iron Man, which I knew. She loves Iron Man. She loves Iron Man. Number 2 is Spider-Man, which what I can see. Spider-Man. Okay. Spider-Man is just there's something about him that's just really dope about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was my first introduction to superhero stuff in general.
Yeah.
Comic books too.
I think the reason why a lot of people can relate to Spider-Man is because he really is super relatable. Like, he's a guy who is literally in his normal life trying to live. He's trying to live.
Spider-Man always struggling, man. Except for the recent stuff.
and even as Spider-Man, he's still always trying to do the right thing, and sometimes it doesn't always work out, but he still has hope.
Right.
So in a sense, Spider-Man is he's like Marvel's Flash.
Yeah.
He's like Marvel's Flash almost in a sense. And then her number 3 is Misty Knight, the comic version more than the Netflix version. I can see that too.
So let me think. I think Batman's my number 1. But that's mainly because he's just a regular person, with money, who chose to do the right thing, which is like kind of the opposite of what's going on right now. But I think more so it kind of like it's it kind of like kind of what I want to happen. So it's kind of that idea for me. The second one, as much as I like Hulk, I'm probably gonna go with Storm. Because for me as Black female, that's the first one I can relate to as a kid. Her coming from Africa, everything else, dark skin. That was somebody I looked up to, and I'm like, I can be her. I can definitely be Storm. So I'll probably say Storm would be my number 2. Number 3, I have to go to anime. I'm sorry, I have to go back to my childhood roots and then go to Sailor Moon, because I love. It's just just because of the fact that I grew up watching her, and I still watch her to this day, and she was annoying and clumsy just like I am. She still could be a hero. And that was the benefit to it. So I think I have to go with those 3, definitely.
For me, most of my guys on my channel know my top 3 from both universes, but it kind of changes from time to time. So I'll definitely the Flash is obviously is one of my favorites in general, mainly for some of the reasons that Harold mentioned too, like just being that guy who just is lovable, caring, and such like that. Second, I would have to say Wonder Woman. I just like the especially the movie and what she represents. Storm is either Wonder Woman and Storm are like top, like exchanging it for me. And number 3, trying to change it up a bit, but All Might. All Might from My Hero Academia. I like what he represents as a symbol.
Yeah.
I like what he represents as a character, someone who comes from literally nothing. And all he wants to do is help people. He doesn't care. He doesn't let the fame get to his head. All he ever wanted to do is help people. And plus, he's just awesome. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Did y'all not see that fight scene? Come on now.
You know what? Here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I want to try a cosplay as him, but I'm gonna change it up. Instead of being All Might, I'm gonna call myself All Strength. I don't know if you know this kid. He's a little Jamaican kid who does like a lot of motivational videos, and he's always working out in them. And his catchphrase is always all strength, no weakness. So I was gonna do like a variation of that, or I was either gonna do him or Aizawa. Aizawa, because I love Aizawa. I love that guy. My top 3. I have to go with Batman because, truth be told, Batman was always my first love in terms of superheroes. Like, I saw the Superman movie first in my life, the original Christopher Reeve Superman movie. I saw that first, but Batman was the one I think I've gotten more exposure to, because with Batman, then Batman the Animated Series, then of course all the movies and stuff, Batman is just a character that I gravitated to the most. And like you said, Kim, he's just a regular guy that took his money, and as opposed to going insane, which is debatable at this point.
Yeah.
But he took his money and his resources, and he decided to protect his city. Even though he could have easily just given that money to the police, but again, they probably could have squandered that mess. My number 2, because my number 1 was a tie between Superman and Batman. I love Superman. There was a while where I didn't really like Superman at all, but over the years I've grown to really become quite fond of him. But if I had to go with a number 2, it would have to be the MCU Captain America.
Yes.
I think the MCU Captain America, I think Chris Evans does an amazing job with his portrayal of Captain America.
He is Captain America.
Yeah, and it's funny because I love Henry Cavill as Superman, but I honestly feel like Chris Evans' Captain America does a better job at being Superman than Henry Cavill does at being Superman.
Very true.
You're right.
Very true.
I feel like he does a better job of being Superman. And it's nothing against Cavill. I know it's not Cavill's fault.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance. He didn't even get a chance to do it.
And he didn't get a chance, but I feel like Chris Evans' Captain America does a great job, and I don't know what's going to happen to him in Avengers 4. All I know is that I'm probably going to be really sad about it.
You saw his tweet, right?
Yeah.
I saw his tweet. And
I think we all saw his tweet.
I don't think I talked about it, but I did see his tweet, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, here's what my hope is for Avengers 4. If he's the one to go, I really hope he just ends back up with Agent Carter. I think wherever he goes in the afterlife,
there you go.
She's there waiting for him. That's what I hope. And then my number 3. I gotta go to
if that happens. If that happens, if they do a scene like that where he goes to heaven and to be with Agent Carter, Waterworks.
Yeah. And my number 3, it has to go to anime, and I'm going with the Saiyan Prince Vegeta. I think Vegeta had the greatest redemption arc throughout the entire series of Dragon Ball. Started out being like the most impossible, conceited, arrogant ass villain to an anti-hero, and now even with Dragon Ball Super, they've given him he's become a better developed character than Goku has, which I thought was very interesting. And I know the creator of Dragon Ball doesn't really like Vegeta much, which is crazy, but I just feel like he was the best rounded out character of of the entire series. I've loved Vegeta ever since Dragon Ball Z. So if I had to go with a number 3, Vegeta would have to be it.
To just a quick comment about Vegeta. Let me ask you this: don't you? My cousin and I were literally talking because my cousin, he's a huge Dragon Ball Z. So we were talking about this, about Vegeta specifically. We were like, man, I feel so bad for Vegeta. Vegeta getting slept on, because Vegeta is like this. This man spent a whole couple years in a time chamber training, right? Just to go to Super Saiyan, just to go there. And then when they fighting Kid Buu, Vegeta's all like, man, nah, man, don't take this dude on, bro. Leave him alone, bro. Don't take him on. Goku just comes out of nowhere like, transform to Super Saiyan 2 with these Super Saiyan 3, and Vegeta's all like, man, what I do, man? Like, Vegeta been through a lot, man. Vegeta definitely grew up a lot too as a character, especially over the years. This man went through a lot.
This is where I get lost in the conversation because I never actually got into Dragon Ball Z. So I
kind of lost interest in Dragon Ball Z when I had to wait like 3 episodes for somebody to throw a punch. I'm sorry.
Just real
Same
quick,
thing with Street Fighter. I had to wait like episodes of the what was it? Street Fighter 2V, I think it was.
Yeah.
I had to wait like 20 episodes for Ryu to do a Hadouken. I mean,
just real quick, it is 12:38. I know you Howard, how are you looking on time? Because I know you got to get ready for work and stuff.
Yeah. Listen, that's the lesson of the day. The underlying lesson of the day of a YouTuber who has a full-time job. You know, we want to do this and we want to do that, and you know, having my own show and everything, and doing this with you guys and everything. But I make the time. And, but unfortunately, a lot of us have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So
real life.
So do you have to cut out now?
Not necessarily right now. I'll give it about like 15 more minutes.
Okay. Cool. All right, we can do that.
So there's one more question that came up. I saw that you had Matt.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It's toward, I think it's a recent comment, right?
Yeah, I think it was even further than that. It was. Let me go back up.
Arkham asked a really good question.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So Arkham Pro 78 says, what are our top 3 favorite comic book films? He gave his personal 3. Avengers, Batman Begins, and Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi.
Wow.
What do you guys?
I can't answer. I can't answer that.
Can't answer that one offhand.
All right.
That's gonna take some time.
I can go. I can go. I got my top 3 right now because it changes every day.
I have my top 3 right now. Also,
right now. I have to wait on that one.
All right. Well, Matthew, you go. You go, Matthew.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's definitely right now, Black Panther. Personally, for me, Captain America: Winter Soldier, hands down. And my last one would either have to be the first Spider-Man movie, or what's the movie that what's that movie? Either Spider-Man 1 or I forgot it. Literally just in my head. Wonder Woman. Those are like my top 3. It changes. It changes. It changes every day.
Something very funny. I have yet to see Wonder Woman.
What?
It's not too late.
I keep forgetting to watch it. It's like everything else is coming out, and I'm like, it keeps getting pushed back to the wayside. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually.
Oh man,
you will enjoy it. You will be happy with yourself once you watch it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Especially for women, it's a really good movie.
I would say for me, my top, the one superhero film that I seem to always go back to is the very first Iron Man, because it's just fun. It's just fun to watch him go from, you know, being this rich guy in Vegas playing, and then, you know, winding up in Kuwait or wherever he was, building that suit for the first time, and then becoming the Iron Man. You know, arrogant, but he has a heart. Number 2, I would say, would be Batman Begins.
Like Batman. That was one. That's actually number 1 for me. Is Batman Begins, but
Batman Begins. So, I'm sorry to cut you off, Harold, but Batman Begins is such a movie that I keep forgetting how good it is. Yeah. And every time I watch it, I'm reminded of how good it is. I'm like, damn, this movie was so freaking good. Real quick, Katani was just asking what was the question again. Matthew, the question was top 3 favorite comic
book movies. Yeah.
Comic book films.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
3.
Is it relegated to just the movie theaters, or can we talk about animated movies also?
Yeah, I mean, that was my question too.
I think he meant movies that were comic book adapted to film. But if you want to do, you can answer however you want. I mean,
okay, all right.
Graphic novels, manga, I guess could work.
Okay.
What would be my third one? Wow, it's good God. It's
hard.
I love. Yeah, I love Winter Soldier. I love Winter Soldier, but I think it was Civil War that kind of like split my heart.
I'm surprised Infinity War is not any one of our lists.
Yeah,
it is in mine.
Oh, okay. I kind of just
it's in mine.
With an honorable mention to Man of Steel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Honorable mention to Man of Steel. I agree. I agree.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna be able to give you anything because I only have one in my head right now, and the coffee's starting to wear off. So I'm at this point. It's like
what's the one that you have though? The single. Batman Begins. Okay.
That was Batman Begins because that was the only one that popped in my head, and like everything else is kind of just like a blur at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because it's like it's just so many, and it's like running through my head, and I'm like, I want to choose one, but I can't. It's very hard.
For me. You guys mentioned Batman Begins, and that really is one of my favorite ones. But if I had to go number one, I still got to go with The Dark Knight.
I do not like The Dark Knight. I actually cannot stand it. Yeah, I cannot. I can
see why. I can see why. No, I can see why. I can see why.
The reason why I like The Dark Knight the best though is really because of Heath Ledger's Joker. But it's it's also really Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face. He played
so it's more for the villains, more so than
yeah.
Here's my question to you: is it more so that you like the villains? Because my thing was I didn't necessarily like what's that guy's name is Batman. I can't think of his name.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I didn't like Christian Bale's Batman.
I liked his Bruce, but not his Batman.
I liked his Bruce. Right. I did not like his Batman.
I'll be honest with you. I like his Batman more in Batman Begins than in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. That's why I like his Batman more.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
And that's really where I like it. But as far as like The Dark Knight is concerned, I really enjoyed because of Heath Ledger's Joker and Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face. And I really feel like Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face doesn't get a lot of recognition.
No,
it doesn't.
Like
it doesn't. It was great.
His Harvey Dent was like brilliant. It was really brilliant. So number one is The Dark Knight. Number 2 is Infinity War.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Like Infinity War had me just like all types of excited. And of course, it was merely because of Thanos. It was him.
Oh, best villain I've seen on screen so far, in my opinion.
It was him.
Yeah.
I'm still hurt about the whole Gamora thing. I really was.
But I love that they did
cried. That. I literally almost cried when I saw that. I was like, I can't believe it.
It's funny because
wonderful. Isn't it wonderful that we're living in a time where superhero films are so well done, so well acted, and taken so seriously that these films get us by our throats just as hard as, say, a Godfather or, say, a Scarface or, say, any other classic
legendary films.
Gotten to us.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, Harold, because I say for a long time that I've learned a lot more from comic books than I have from anything else I've ever learned in life, like regular school and any of that stuff. Yeah. And it's really these movies are like not even just the movies, like the TV shows and stuff. Like those are the things that really get me. Like I forgot which episode it was I was watching that really almost had me choked up. I forgot, and it might have been I know one of them was the episode of the newer Batman Adventures where Tim Drake Robin, he was with this girl. That girl turned out to be a piece of Clayface. And when Clayface absorbed her back, and Tim was like completely heartbroken. I was like, oh my god. And then even a few episodes of Young Justice got me too. I was like, I think the last episode of the last season when Wally West disappeared.
Yeah.
Trying to stop that storm, and then when Artemis found out and she just broke down, that had me messed up too.
Heart of Ice episode from the classic Batman the animated series. Heart of Ice at the end. When Victor Freeze was put in prison and was looking at the little glass with like a statue of his wife, and when he started crying, what they did with Mr. Freeze in that cartoon is fucking brilliance. Yes,
like it is like nobody else has ever been able to do it. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then and nobody else has been able to do
it. Ken.
Yeah.
Ken, we got a very interesting question. I know you didn't give your top 3. I'm just letting you know that we had one more question. I don't know if we had time for it, but
we should.
We had a really good question.
I'm good so far.
Okay. All right. I'll ask you the question when you. I didn't think you finished your list, right?
Yeah, so that was so sad. Okay, so yeah, number 1 is The Dark Knight. Number 2 is Infinity War. Number 3, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the tried and true Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2.
Which one though?
Spider-Man 2.
Amazing Spider-Man or Sam Raimi?
Sam Raimi.
Spider-Man 2. Yes.
Although I will give the Amazing Spider-Man 2 a little bit of props. I kind of dug Jamie Foxx's Electro, but other than that, the movie was kind of bad. It was just bad. But Sam Raimi.
The soundtrack Spider-Man, though.
Yes.
Hans Zimmer, my boy.
Hans Zimmer killed that soundtrack for Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I love it.
But Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, man, was just, and it was like that was the movie where like Peter Parker was at the lowest of his life.
Right.
He was at the lowest, and I'm like, oh my god, how is he gonna keep going? Like,
I'm sorry, the scene where him and MJ are just hanging on a web, just like watching the stars, is one of my most vivid and like amazing memories from my childhood. Was just like when they're just sitting down on there, just chilling, and the train scene, man, come on now,
the train.
Come on now.
I remember watching the train scene in the movie theater. And I was like, this is the best movie ever made. This is the best superhero movie I've ever seen. Because like
it set the standard.
Because at that point we've never seen Spider-Man do anything like that.
Yep.
Here he is with his mask off, and he's stopping a train just by his sheer will. And then the people carrying him back inside, and they're like, "We're going to keep it secret." I was like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done."
Yeah.
Real quick, Katani listed off her 3 favorite comic book films. Civil War is number 1. I was gonna throw Civil War in there because I really love Civil War. I love The Winter Soldier, but I love Civil War. So Civil War is her number 1. The first Iron Man is her number 2. And then her third one is The Dark Knight also. That's her third one, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And Kim, you still don't have your 3?
Yeah, no. Next episode, I'll give you my 3.
Okay.
Next episode,
All right. All right, so we got to hold her to that. Nextly, she's going to give us her top 3 favorite comic book films. All right, so what was the question that you had, Matthew, that was asked?
The question is from Prince O. I'm going to kind of change up the question a bit because I think the number is a little bit too much to think of.
Yeah, I think 5 is enough.
I think 5 is good. Prince O asked, if you were to assemble, he said team of 10, but I'll say team of 5. If you were to assemble a team of 5 superheroes, who would be on your team? Anime counts as well.
And
villains count too.
Ooh-wee.
Y'all can go first. I need to think about this.
Matthew, you go first.
Wait, I go first. Let Harold go first.
I'm going to have to do to be continued on this one.
Kim, you got it, Kim.
I cannot put together a team like that right now.
All right.
So, but with that being said, I'm going to have to get ready to go, guys. Okay. So, to everybody that's been watching, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching. Check me out on HB Gibson on YouTube, my show, The X Zone. See you next time.
Before you go, Harold, just real quick, give us a remedy that could possibly help reduce toxic fandom. What's a remedy that you got?
I would say when you like, I think the best way to handle it when it's coming towards you, you could do one of two things. It's as easy as a block button, or you handle it with a calm head, with education, be kind, and if they still don't want to receive it, then you know that they're just plain toxic, and if there's nothing that you can do about it, you can't really do too much with a toxic person except walk away from them, say your piece, and then try to keep, all you can do is keep your space safe. All you can do is just, you know, watch your movies and enjoy what you enjoy, and try to associate yourself with like-minded people. And the moment someone decides to get toxic, you nip it in the bud or just press the block button. But we have to remember, and I'm going to just, like I said, what John Campea said, remember this, everybody. Fandom is defined by what we love, not by what we hate.
Right.
Keep the love.
Absolutely.
Keep the love. Abolish the hate. And on that note, I gotta go.
Matt, Harold, thank you for joining us again. We will see you next time on the podcast. The three of us are going to hang around for a little bit and answer this question.
All right, now.
Harold, we will catch you next time. Thanks for coming.
All right. Bye-bye. Y'all take care.
All right.
Everyone says bye, Harold.
Bye, Harold.
For the question, I can't.
Let's first of all, let's start with our number one. Let's go around and talk about our number one first. For me, my number one, Deathstroke. Point. Done. I'm assembling killers here.
Straight murderers. But it's a superhero team, which means you have to help people.
Well,
hey, I mean, no, he said villains. You can't help. He's an assassin.
True.
So he can't go both ways. So the thing is that just because he's an evil villain, I can, in my universe, I can definitely turn him into a superhero if I really wanted to, and he'd be a ridiculously strong.
I think we should have a rule of a person that we shouldn't have on our teams. We should not have Superman on our team.
No, definitely not.
Okay. If we have Superman on our team, that's not going to be fair. That's not going to be fair.
Our Superman on our team, that is fair. I will agree to that. I will concede to that. No Superman.
No Superman.
He was nowhere near my list anyway.
No, because I was thinking of putting him on there, but I'm like, nah, that's not going to be fair though.
Because he can't be really.
You can't really much stuff. My number one that would replace Superman's place, because I do need somebody who can save me from stray bullets. So I'm gonna definitely go with the Flash. I need to have a speedster on my team. Speedsters are very helpful. Matter of fact, I don't even care. More specifically, I want to have Wally West on my team.
There we go. Okay.
I want Wally on my team.
My number one, You know what? I'm just gonna keep it real simple. My number one is gonna be Vegeta. Vegeta is going to be my number one. I need him because, as arrogant as he could be, he is a solid tactician. He is a solid tactician. Once he puts his ego to the side, he knows exactly where and how to hit you. You know, so I have to. Vegeta has to be my number one. He's my number one.
All right. So round twos. Mine's gonna be a little unconventional. Again, because I like villains better. I'm gonna go with Light.
Ooh, Light Yagami, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right, only because.
Interesting. I ain't fighting Kim's team, bro. Nah.
Like, if that's the case, if he
got straight murderers on their team.
You can't really fight.
He doesn't have to be there. He just has to pretty much write a name and call it a day,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And the only difference is that he has to have a face to it. That's the only problem,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
But I personally, you know, again, because I'm a villain person, I think he's smart enough, except till the end. He's smart enough to kind of outwit a lot of people in that aspect and get away with it. So I think he'd be good to have on the team.
My number 2 would have to be Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter. What made me even love him more was reading the new Justice League story that came out. And this man straight up, he's done this before, but seeing it used in this way was really cool. This man is, instead of using actual comms, Aquaman is underwater, Flash is somewhere else, Superman's on another planet, and they can all speak to each other telepathically through his link. And this man literally created a whole council room in the mind that seems and feels real because of his psychic powers. Like, everyone was just in the room. They didn't have to be in a physical location. Everyone just got he's like, you know what, guys, we need to sit down and have a meeting real quick. Everyone is in his mind, and they can touch each other, and it feels real. And I'm like, I need to have Martian Manhunter on my team. A sidekick can go such a long way, and a shapeshifter too.
Speaking of sidekick, my number 2 would actually be Tim Drake Robin. Or rather, Tim Drake Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Yeah. I've actually always been a fan of Tim Drake. I love Dick Grayson. Don't get me wrong. I love Dick Grayson. Damian Wayne, he's an ass. He's just an ass. But I love
Damian.
I can roll with Damian. Jason Todd, Red Hood. You know, he's cool and all that stuff. But Tim Drake, he's that one that doesn't get the love he deserves. And next to Dick Grayson, Tim might have been one of the best Robins that Batman ever had. So I think with his detective skills and then his martial arts ability, I think Tim Drake would make a good number 2. So I have to go with Tim Drake Red Robin, the new version of Red Robin at that. So
you know, listening to you, I just forgot my number 3. No, never. No, I do remember now. No, okay, my number 3. Even though I didn't like the movie, I will still go with T'Challa. So we're still gonna go, you know, that route, only because, you know, just sheer strength and speed. You know, like you said, we kind of need that plus technology is on his side too, so we'd be working out completely. So I definitely would go that route. So I actually have an actual superhero on my team. Oh my god.
Okay.
Let's see Black Panther get along with those guys.
Well, he may not have a problem with light. He probably have a problem with Deathstroke, on the other hand.
Yes. Why are you killing them? What is wrong with you? Have you no morals? Like me, my number 3 is the person you actually just mentioned, Ken. Damian Wayne. I am a huge Damian Wayne fan. I like that attitude. He's gonna be a little hard to work with because he's stubborn. It's gonna be a little hard to work with. I just thought I saw a picture pop up of Boba Fett, but I don't think that's true. But yeah, Damian Wayne definitely would be on my team. Why? Because I think Damian Wayne. What is it?
What just?
I just saw teardrop.
I just saw that too. I'm like, is it because I looked away? What the heck just happened?
Wait, you didn't put that on there?
No. I don't know what the heck just happened.
No, but Damian Wayne, forget, he's a prodigy. All right?
Yeah, that's true.
He is a prodigy. He is extremely talented. And a matter of fact, I know they did a run where when he was an older Damian Wayne. I would actually have an older Damian Wayne, like young adult Damian Wayne, because when he gets older, he becomes he becomes that dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's already that dude in his young form. All right? It's just that he's stubborn and has an attitude and daddy problems. But in his young adult life, Damian Wayne's that dude. So definitely my number 3. He's extremely skilled. He's not only just a genius, he has almost the same amount of genius level intellect as Batman, knows just as much as martial arts as Batman does, maybe even more. His weakness really truly is just his attitude, but he's definitely a keeper for my team.
My number 3 is actually going to be a girl from anime, and I got to pluck one from Class 1A from My Hero Academia. I got to go with Momo Yaoyorozu.
Yes.
The girl who can create anything just from her body.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong with someone who can just create weapons and anything that you need for a battle, mid-battle, just as long as her lipids stay up. I think she's
bring a lot of cake.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say that she's an underrated character, because she's not. I mean, I think everyone gets equal billing in My Hero Academia, but something about her quirk just really interests me. Is like the fact that she could just create stuff just from her own skin, and it's functional. I'm like, that's a pretty dope power set to have. And I give a lot of credit for My Hero Academia for creating such a show where it's like people's abilities are so random, but
and they all matter.
Sense. Exactly.
And can be used.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's my number 3. I got to go with Momo.
Momo's a beast.
Yeah.
Straight up.
All right.
Number 4.
Number 4. Somebody in the chat, actually, I had an idea because I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna because somebody else said it, and I thought about it. I was like, Aang may be a good character, but I think Aang is actually too good for
OP.
my team. Yeah, he's too good for my team. Like, he would legit be like, too passive to do anything. So I'm gonna probably go with Mystique.
Shape-shifting.
Interesting.
Shape-shifting, yeah. That way you kind of have that person who can pretend to be anybody at that very moment, and then turn around and just kill you. That would be like the ultimate, like, I don't know. It's like I have like a team of killers. Like I said, I'm bringing out killers. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, you got a straight gang. You got a straight gang. Oh man. My number 4, you mentioned him earlier, but I do need a genius on my team. Well, they're pretty much all geniuses, but I do need a rich person on my team. And because how are we gonna fund our team? We need to fund our reason. We need to have funding. So I'm gonna have Black Panther on my team. Okay. I need to have Black Panther on my team as well. And plus he can also aid as a co-leader, because I'm the leader even though I have no powers. So I need to have him on the team for reasons.
Stay home and direct.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. For reasons that needs no explanation, really.
Right.
We all know. That's my number 4.
My number 4, I'm gonna be dipping back into the anime ring again with My Hero Academia. I gotta go with the Hero Killer Stain.
Oh.
Hero Killer Stain. Oh. He hasn't returned yet, but I thought his introduction was very interesting. And given the fact that his quirk is like blood manipulation, that he can literally paralyze you if he gets a taste of your blood, is like, that could come in very handy.
Hero Killer Stain.
Yeah, and plus his skill with his weapons is like insane. So like when I first met him, I was like, this dude is insane, but I like him. I like him a lot above all the other villains on that show. So I was like, if I ever had to pick a villain from that show to be on my team, and there's some pretty good villains on that damn show, it would have to be Hero Killer Stain. It would have to be him.
Okay. And where are we at? Number 5.
Number 5.
Yep.
I have a replacement for my number 5, but after you, Kim.
Okay.
Number 5. It's gonna be off the wall. It's gonna be weird. But I'm gonna go with Edward Elric. So we're gonna talk about.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. Only because he has the alchemy power and he can do it without a transmutation. So the music could happen at any time. So I think at that point, like you said, I need somebody to protect me. So if I need a wall built very shortly, that's my man, to protect my back. So and honestly, I think under the right circumstances, he can also be turned to
Right.
kill. So I think it would be a good choice for me for the end part of my team as far as my protection is concerned.
Right.
My number 5 is either 2 people, and I have a sub. I have a sub. Okay, a reserve. But my in case somebody's man down. But my number 5, I need to have a wizard on my team. I need to have, because I don't know which villains I'm going to be facing who may have magic abilities, casting spells and stuff that I may need someone who can defend me against those things. So obviously, without a doubt, I'm either going to go with Dr. Voodoo or Doctor Strange. And the reason I bring in Dr. Voodoo, because Dr. Voodoo actually took over the title of Sorcerer Supreme from Doctor Strange, which means because he became better than, I think right now, currently, Dr. Voodoo is the current Sorcerer Supreme. So his skills became way better than Doctor Strange's skill. As a wizard. So I would definitely, or a magician, whatever you say. So I definitely have one of them. And my replacement as a backup, I would have Luke Skywalker, comic book. Luke Skywalker on my team.
Yeah.
Comic book Luke Skywalker on my team.
Is it pre-crazy or after crazy?
Pre-crazy, right before he started farming.
Okay.
Like literally right after Empire Strikes Back ends. That Luke Skywalker in between those 15 years or so, that Luke Skywalker from the comic books that I remember, the one that's destroying TIE fighters just by thinking of them, and destroying walkers. Man, I remember just reading his whole team was struggling to take out two fighters, 2 Imperial walkers. My man Luke just walked in and was like, "Look, man, I gotta eat lunch." Flicked his finger and boom, a whole army of Imperial walkers destroyed. We have never seen that Luke yet. So I definitely want to have him on my team.
My number 5 is a toss-up. Because I got one girl on the team, but I feel like I should have another girl on the team. Just to balance things out.
I don't think about it. Do I have a female on my team? I was like, yeah, I do.
Because the only female I have is on Momo Yaja Rosa. She's the only one. But it's going to be a toss-up. So for a girl, it's going to be Ranger Killer Kimberly Hart. Because in Power Rangers Shattered Grid, in her timeline, and I haven't even gotten to it yet, she becomes a Ranger Hunter. And I thought that was an interesting twist for her in the comic book, for her to be hunting her old teammates and stuff. And the outfit she have is a badass outfit. And she's rocking her Power Bow mixing with the Sword of Darkness, and to me that's just awesome. I like watching versions. I like seeing heroes get a villain makeover, and that's the first time we've seen her have one, aside from that horrible Turbo Power Rangers movie. But she would be my female pick. For a male pick, I need to stop playing my boy out, and I'm bringing Neo to the team. I know we're not supposed to have Superman. He's not technically not Superman because he can still die. But Neo, with his powers over the Matrix, I gotta give it to him. So I gotta bring Neo in.
But how would Neo play out in the real world with fighting?
Exactly.
That's the real question.
I was thinking in my head, yeah.
Now, in the real world, he's still connected to the machines because he never went back to the source. Now, if the storyline goes where the machines do exist, at least the machines from the Matrix do exist, and he never goes back to the source, he's still connected to them and he can still destroy them. In my honest opinion, and I'll probably end up doing a video about this like some point later on what I would do if I made the Matrix and how I would do it. Like, I always felt like if he had his powers outside the Matrix, he should actually have his martial arts skills outside the Matrix too. If it's collapsing like that. But Neo would be my male number 5. But yeah, Ranger Hunter kicked really hard.
Fun fact about real quick about Matrix. A lot of people don't know. It's actually created by an African American woman.
Yes.
A lot of people do not know that.
she actually sued the Wachowskis
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want to give her the credit, and she won.
Yep, she has the copyrights to all the Matrix.
Yep, she won.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She wrote the books.
So that was a plus for her. Real quick, I'm gonna go to Katani. She commented on her top 5. Well, she gave 10. She gave 10 because she can't really
overachiever. What an overachiever.
Because since she's in the comment section,
she had time to think.
Really exactly. So starting with her number. All right. So her number 1 is Iron Man. Iron Man's her number 1.
Of course.
Spider-Man is her number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange is her number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch is her number 4.
I forgot about Scarlet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okoye is her number. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 5.
Okoye is her number 5. She says Storm is her number 6 if they stop playing her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they really do be playing her out in the movies like that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to mention her.
Comic book Storm, man. Comic book Storm all the way.
Comic book Storm is good, but like the movie Storm, like they really hurt her so bad.
She has one that I was really gonna consider, but I put him on a back burner. She has Reed Richards. Has Richards on there. I think that's a really good one. She also has Magneto. Magneto, I was gonna consider.
Yeah, I was gonna consider Magneto too. I was. I was.
And her last one. Mm-hmm. You were saying, Kim?
I think he's a little bit too much for like the list itself, because we were like omitting people just because of the fact that they were just like
overpowered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then her last pick is the Living Tribunal.
Ooh. Her team is OP as hell. Her team is OP. Like, that's an OP team.
I'm like,
and then she has one more. She added Black Panther. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like if my team was the villains, she'd be coming after me. Pretty much. She practically has the Illuminati up here.
Pretty much.
She has the Illuminati up here. Yeah.
And only thing she's missing is Captain America.
Sorry.
No, I said the only. Oh, sorry, Kim.
No, I was saying the only other person I was considering, and just because of the fact, was Joker. And I'm like, again, it's just like one of those things where it's like a toss-up. Do I want somebody who's manipulative and can manipulate people into doing his bidding? Or do we need somebody who's actually going to do it themselves? That's the only reason why I didn't include him.
Savage is a good person to have too, though. Vandal Savage.
Yes.
There's also another honorable mention on that list, Vandal Savage, because he's a crazy son of a chicken. That man right there, he's a crazy boy.
And the thing is that I really wish they did a lot more with him. Like, I'll give Legends of Tomorrow props for the first season basing it around him, but I really think he's one of those underrated villains of the DC universe, and they don't use him a lot, and they should. I really think they should use Vandal Savage a whole lot. His
comic book side, he has way more unexplained powers that they never even tapped into the show. It's crazy.
And well, luckily for me, with my fan film, he's going to be a part of it. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll make him a bigger role in the fan film.
Should,
you know, because he's a part of it. So, were there any other questions that were asked, or?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Not
from my end. Everyone was just pretty much commenting their top 10s, and so we haven't really got any other questions. After that, I'm just double checking.
I was laughing when he said "crazy son of a chicken." I never heard that either. I never heard that either.
I never heard that.
That's my expression, son of a chicken. I'm not a swearer, so I make up my own swears.
Okay. SOC, got it.
Yep, SOC, son of a chicken.
I know we already asked Harold, but you guys, Katani already he put up what her remedy is for combating toxic fandom, and she just pretty much said to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
The hardest thing about that is that it's not gonna go away. It's always gonna be there. The best thing to do is kind of just either ignore it. If you do address it with kindness. You know, basically, like my thing is I always say, I always kind of say an opinion is not disrespect. Just keep in mind that you understand the difference between the two. That they're not disrespect. It's not disrespect to you. I'm not disrespecting the fandom. I'm not. it's basically saying that this is my opinion and understand the difference.
Right.
And then therefore, if there's any other issues other than that, you can address it on the side. But as far as that's concerned, I kind of always make sure to keep a calm level about myself. Like, like Harold said, just keeping a calm level about yourself, because as soon as you reflect their behavior or their attitudes, it makes it
Yeah, that sounds about right. Matthew, what do you got?
Yeah, for me, all I can say is, like with anything, like with dealing with prejudice and racism and all sorts of subjects like that, I think it all starts with you as a person. You got to be the one to, because if you keep wanting everyone to do it, it's not going to happen. You have to lead by example. So if you see that something is going wrong within the fandom, you have to be the one that sets an example to be like, you know what, I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to treat this with a better outlook. I'm going to be the one that contributes to the positivity of what fandom should be. And it's not to say that you can't, because sometimes your opinion may not agree with the positivity of something. Maybe your opinion is just that you just don't like it. You're disappointed. That's your opinion. But we all have to come to a place where you just meet a common ground of, look, my opinion is not the end all be all. Your opinion is not the end all be all. We need to come to an agreement to disagree. And, like pretty much everything y'all been saying, just ignore it. If you're going to address it, address it with maturity, address it with kindness. Don't contribute to the hate. Don't contribute to the fandom by, if they insult you, don't contribute to it by insulting them back for insulting you. Because sometimes winning an argument, I even saw a video about this, it's true, winning an argument, sometimes you just have to stay silent. Sometimes you gotta be quiet.
Sometimes when you win the argument, you don't feel better.
You don't feel better. It doesn't fix anything.
It doesn't resolve anything. So sometimes, like you said, it's just keeping that level-headed mindset. And then for people that are weak, are weaker than the majority, sometimes it helps to talk to other fans that are having a positive outlook on that, so that way you don't feel as though you're being isolated or picked on or singled out. Find a group, find a people that are supporting you. That way you can actually feel better about what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got to really say about it.
I guess the best thing I could say is everything you guys said is pretty much the gist of it. I say, and this goes out to anyone watching, is basically, definitely if you can ignore what a lot of negativity is being said. I say if you can defend someone that really can't defend themselves against a toxic fandom, do the best you can. More often than not, a lot of these toxic fandoms, they're not based in logic. They're just they're like, a lot of these guys are just, for some reason, too emotionally invested in said property, which is okay to a degree, because if it makes you feel something, then it's an honest thing. But when someone gets so emotionally invested in something that they lose all sense of logic and reasoning, then there's nothing you can do against that.
Yes.
The best you can do is to basically stand with someone who feels the same way you do, and doesn't buy into this whole extreme fandom and stuff. Especially here online and in social media, you really shouldn't have to get into a keyboard you shouldn't have to get into a keyboard argument with somebody who doesn't see your viewpoint. Everyone's entitled to their viewpoint. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to how they feel about a certain property.
And it's more effort for you to argue with somebody over something, opposed to just be like, you know what, man, you got it, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't even want to fight with you.
Exactly.
I don't even want to fight with you.
Everything. Yeah, you don't have to defend everything that gets thrown at you, because at the end of the day, you're gonna feel exhausted by the time you get done with everything. By defending yourself, you're gonna exhaust yourself, and that's gonna lead to more hating it. So instead of just, like I said, just letting it go, letting it slide, it's a lot easier on your conscience and on your psyche.
Yeah. Like, if you don't have to indulge, don't. Just simply don't. Just leave it alone. Like, I find myself doing that a lot of times these days, especially with the nerd groups that I'm in on Facebook. In fact, there's one in particular nerd group I'm in right now, and there's sometimes I think there's hope for them, and then there's other times where it's like, why am I a part of this group?
Yes.
Why am I still here?
Yes.
Because the things you guys are saying don't make any sense, and a lot of these things, a lot of these issues could be solved if you just did some research. But again,
not everybody's willing to do it. Not everybody's willing to do all that, and that's what you have to accept. Like, we have to accept it I think even more than they have to accept it. That they're just not gonna understand. I think somebody in the comments even said it. You know, no matter how many times you go, they're gonna have to talk about it. But as far as the time is concerned, we've been here for like almost 3 hours.
3 hours.
Guys,
well, 3 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah, so it's about that time that we should, be wrapping it up.
We should be wrapping up. Everyone knows where they can find us. I actually have a shout out before we actually do this. Before we can actually close it out. I want to get a shout out to one of our viewers. He may be watching, may not be. He helped me out earlier this week trying to find something in Japan. Because I am a figure collector, as you can see behind me. So check out Crane Train's channel. It's Crane Train 1142. Whenever you get a chance, he does Japanese UFO catchers and stuff like that. And he might be able to help you find a few if you actually look out for it. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
That's cool.
Cool. Very cool. All right.
That's very cool.
Again, you can find me here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, PlayStation, all that good stuff. Matthew, they can pretty much find you at the same place. Kim, they can pretty much find you at the same place. And Canimation
Studios, Matthew V. Haynes.
Yep.
And Kim doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, but
not yet. But we're going to be working on that.
Yeah,
it's a work in progress, and we will let you know once we start getting the progress running.
Yeah. And let's not forget about Harold at the X Zone.
And then Katani, of course, you can find her on her webpage. If you just type in her name, you'll be able to find everything you can about her. And that wraps up this episode of the Geekcast. The week after that, which we got to look at, because if that's the 27th, I might not be here. I don't think I'll be here.
I think I have something that day. I'm actually going to be attending. So
the 27th, is Cosplay Collectible Con. So we're going to that.
I might be there.
So you might be there. So more than likely,
I might be there.
So we won't be doing the podcast that Saturday. We'll probably do it for the following Saturday after that. Because the last weekend of this month is Halloween weekend anyway. So we're going to be busy doing a whole bunch of stuff anyway. But the very next episode of the Geekcast is going to be a continuation of Toxic Fandom. But we're gonna discuss one particular group of toxic fandom, and that's the Nostalgia Police. Because the Nostalgia Police have been running rampant, they've been running extremely rampant for the past, I'd say maybe for the past couple of years now, and it's been doing a lot of damage to a lot of fandoms that just regular toxic fandom hasn't been doing.
Teen Titans Go.
Teen Titans Go. Between that, Thundercats Roar, She-Ra, Star Wars,
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
The list continues.
The list goes on and on and on.
So that will be the next discussion on the Geekcast, the Nostalgia Police. So get ready for that.
Awesome.
Aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the Geekcast today. We will catch you in another couple of weeks. Again, if you subscribe to us or follow us, you'll know exactly when the next podcast is coming out. So basically, stay tuned. The audio for this will be available sometime during the week. So make sure you guys check out your podcast stations and stuff. And essentially, we will put out what podcast stations you can listen to us at if you can't catch the video. But if you're here, you can always catch the video, so you don't need to listen to the audio.
Obviously.
All right. So with that being said, I'm Kendrick Gray, the Dreadlock Blerd, and we're out.
The council has spoken.
The council has spoken.
The council has spoken.
We're also gonna get the audio fixed. So hopefully by the next podcast, we'll have the layout and the audio working in tandem with each other.
Yeah.
Right. But the Council of Blerds has spoken, as they said, and transmission.